Eminence. Kaboom is up in the air.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
It's the SFL Nights It's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights It's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. Ashley Jackson about the action. SFL news, come and join with interaction. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, you will leave with satisfaction. Yeah, tell your team and tell your captain. Come and tune in, new episodes weekly. You can tune in from your room in afternoons, and when the moon hits, it's unique. It's the SFL Nights It's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL Nights It's the SFL Nights with AJ Striker.
What's up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And look who I have here with me today, Mr. Nathaniel Diggs. He is with the Queen City Corsairs. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me on the show tonight to be my co-host. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. I'm always glad to be back.
Yeah. Actually, I think you've probably been back a few more times than a lot of people. So I know.
I'm glad. Well, I think, what is this? Four times? I think.
Or maybe five. Maybe five.
Maybe five.
If
it wasn't fun, I wouldn't come back, you know?
Right. I feel you. So Nathaniel is going to be helping me go over the SFLm games that just started week 1. Loved seeing this time of year come around because we had 98 rookies that joined the league recently, and they get a chance to see their players on the field do their thing and see what their future may hold in the majors. So got some good stuff for that. And my next segment will include members from all teams that participated in the Wildcard games. And while I couldn't get everyone in the room at the same time, I thought it would be interesting to get those different viewpoints from the wins and the losses that occurred this past weekend. Very mixed feelings. Some people are riding high. Some people are, still feeling that heartbreak, but you'll get it all right here. Members will include for Sioux Falls owner, Jacen. We have Pawti representing DC Dragons. I also have Mike St.Green representing the London Knights. I have Kentez Johnson for the Charleston Predators. I also have, make sure I get everybody in, Dion Hawkins for the Tulsa Desperados, Mike All for the Jacksonville Kings, and I even added, because he did so well on the show the last time he was here, one more, Ramos Lynn, of course, for the Mexico City Aztecs, and I also added Bo Martin Jr., Lone Star Glory, just to give us his take on, what he thought about the wild card games, as well as what he thinks about his upcoming playoff opportunity. So great stuff here. Nathaniel, start things off with the SFLm. What are your thoughts on week 1? How exciting is it to have all of these great teams back in action?
I'm glad to see them all back. I'm always ready to watch Madison play, and a lot of these other teams too. Some of these teams that have come back, it brings a new look to it, and it's exciting. SFLm is completely unpredictable. You got teams that struggle on offense and still continue to push well, like we did last season, because the defense was good enough to hold. You got teams that are stacked and you would think couldn't be beaten, And just like SFLm holds true to that, we had some upset stuff in week 1, and it was exciting to watch.
Indeed. And just so everybody knows, the list of teams that are included with the SFLm are the Albuquerque Adams, which we welcomed them back into the fold. They took a season off. They were two-time champions. Very impressive ball club over there. Welcome back, Adams. Followed by the Annapolis Navigators, Navies, I love calling them. The Lexington Miners, the Lincoln Rattlesnakes, the Madison Lynx, the Ottawa Cavalry, San Jose Flight, and the Tacoma Grizzlies are all the teams that make up this wonderful league. And so let's just go over a little bit of what happened. So week 1 final scores were the Adams taking on the San Jose Flight, where San Jose won 44-13. The Tacoma Grizzlies took on the Lexington Miners, where Tacoma won 49-24. The Annapolis Navigators took on the Madison Lynx, and Annapolis won 29-13. Ending things off was the Ottawa Cavalry versus the Lincoln Rattlesnakes, where Ottawa won 20-13. So, first game we want to talk about was the Adams. We'll quickly talk about was the Adams taking on the San Jose Flight. Awesome game to watch. A lot of teams were rooting for the Adams to come out the gate, especially since they were former champions. Shouldn't say returning, but former champions. They seemed like they had to pick it up because they were a little rusty. In the first quarter, they had no points. Second quarter, they only scored 6. And in the fourth quarter, they only had a touchdown. Whereas the San Jose Flight was able to score 21 points in the second quarter, 14 points in the third quarter, and 9 points in the fourth. So they were definitely high up on that total passing yardage with 402 passing yards comparatively to 247 passing yards for the Albuquerque Adams. But and then the 2 turnovers that ensued with the Adams as well. I think that kind of led to the demise of that squad and San Jose's win. So what do you think about this?
It's definitely not the return to the league that they wanted. I'm sure they wanted to start off with a win, come back. But it's early. Like everybody says, week 1, you can't scout anybody. So it's really anybody's game. It's the best chance for a 50-50, going into it. And, Albuquerque didn't get, like I said, that victory, but San Jose took off from where they left off last season. Last season, they aired it out a lot. They ended up averaging, I think, 70 rushing yards a game. So I think if they could incorporate a little bit more run in with people able to scout games, that'd help them out being a little bit more even. But the way they aired it out, it was awesome. It's like they didn't miss a beat. And the good thing for Albuquerque is you have some of those people coming back. What was their name? What was her name for Albuquerque?
So Trellis Blankton, you had Honus.
It was TT Crystal. Yeah, Crystal, right. And them. They already showed. It took them a little bit to get warmed up, but the touchdown there, they have the weapons to be able to get it done. And we've already saw with these games this week, these two-way contract players are taking off. I mean, we had the Four Horsemen last season, but with Squarebush, you're really able to see it this season. And these wide receivers and two-way players really made a name and an impact this week. So we can talk about the other ones later. But yeah, San Jose, way to start out.
Indeed. Even like to your point with wide receivers, Jay Viper having 7 receptions for 147 yards and a touchdown. I mean, and then on the defensive side of the ball, you have then J.R. Alexio, cornerback. Of course, shout out. He's going out for expansion too. But 1 pass deflection and an interception. And Brian James, strong safety for the San Jose Flight, also had an interception as well. People are building these players to the best of their abilities. They're taking the advice of coaches, and it's obviously working out in their favor. Yeah. So with the Madison, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with like you were saying, and a lot of these new players made a name for themselves too. I mean, you've got, what is it? Wide receiver. Both of the wide receivers, Viper and Cooper for the San Jose Flight.
Mhm.
They're not two-way contract, and they went out there 7 and 9 catches apiece, and I think it was Viper had over 100 yards and a touchdown. Well, they both got 1 or 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, it's not that these two-way players are so far progressed that you can't make a name for yourself, and that showed it right there. You got 2 brand new people that went out there and dropped the mic on them and said, "Hey, I'm here." So that's what I love about it. I love it.
Indeed. Now with Madison Lynx taking on the Annapolis Navigators, pretty much the same thing. Annapolis pretty much dominated the whole time. Time of possession 23 minutes, 41 seconds. It definitely made it count, especially on the rushing side of things, with that 179 rushing yards in comparison to the 62 yards from Madison Lynx. Looks like the Annapolis Navigators defense was definitely able to stop their rushing game tenfold. I'm noticing that Madison was only able to score a field goal in the first, 7 points and 10 points in the second, and that was all. Whereas Annapolis Navigators were able to capitalize on having an interception, a touchdown in the first quarter, 10 points in the second, another touchdown in the third, and 5 points in the fourth. So 9 times out of 10, the 5 points was safety and a field goal. So this was definitely interesting ball game to watch as well. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I expected a little bit more offensively from Madison. I know with, the return and running back and Duncan and, the quarterback Moon, I kind of expected a little bit more. It kind of reminded me of Madison of last season, struggling offensively. They've got Adrian Ellis, who's a monster, and Charlie Baker, too, who was an impact player for him last year on big moments. I think they got the tools to get it done. They just need to figure that offense out. The defense, heck, you're trying to stop Randy Squarebush. They did show some signs of life there on defense with Alvarado, and Fowler had a couple good hits. But Alvarado really looked good to me in that game. And I think he'll be able to get a job for him once these progressions pick up and stuff. I think Madison is fine. They had a big, strong first game against a tough opponent. So holding Annapolis to 28 points says enough in itself. I think they can do something later. And Annapolis, like I said, Squarebush, it's going to happen. It is going to happen.
Squarebush is doing Squarebush-like things, right?
Oh yeah. But they did what they needed to offensively and picked Madison apart and hit the holes that they needed to hit. So it was a good game to watch. I'm just kind of disappointed with the outcome. I gotta rep on Madison though.
I'm saying is that I love my thing,
Yeah.
That probably happened too because Nathaniel West, strong safety, did get an interception, 23 yards. And you have Marco Million with 9 tackles and Rachel Meaner, 8 tackles. So they was definitely over there working.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Lexington Miners had a pretty tough game as well. 49 points. 49 points Homa scored on the Lexington Miners. Most of them, of course, passing yardage, they weren't that far away from each other with the 300, about 30 yards difference. I think the difference was definitely the turnovers from the Lexington Miners. If you have 4 turnovers to Tacoma's 1, you're giving the other team more chances to win, and capitalize, which is exactly what they did. Because Tacoma in the first quarter and the second quarter were able to capitalize with touchdowns. In the third quarter, they had 14 points and then 21 points in the fourth quarter, man. So what do you think?
This Tacoma team we saw week 1 was the Tacoma team everybody thought they were getting last season. They had Lexington's number from the go. I mean, like you were saying, the points per quarter, they got 28 points before Lexington even got 3. So I'm hoping they can keep that rolling. I'd like to see Tacoma do extremely well. Lexington, we played them in the championship last season, so I expect them to figure stuff out, but they also lost a lot of people too. So with Lexington, they'll learn from week 1. Like I said, they couldn't scout anybody. So week 2 and 3, I really look to see what these teams are actually capable of and what they can do. But Tacoma, props on that. That was one heck of a game to watch. And I'll tell you, if I had a game ball to give for the week, I would give it to Darius Hawkins. That big defensive end that got that pick 6. That big boy can run. Oh my
67
goodness.
yards, man.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness. Who is that big man?
Man,
but
he is going to be a
props
beast.
to them.
Yeah.
It's not often they get a chance like that, and he took advantage of it, and to have it early like that too, making a name. He set the bar high for himself for the rest of the season. So got some work, buddy. Keep that up.
And look, Shane Kaufman, wide receiver with 10 receptions, 209 yards, 3 reception touchdowns. It's amazing the abilities that these young folks have, Also, special shout out to Angel. Please forgive me, Angel, if I mess this up. Malandula. Forgive me.
I said Maldonado. That's how
Maldonado.
I pronounced it.
Yes. Definitely shout out Maldonado for your interception, as well as Tigger Clay and Orlando Graham. Also, and then of course Darius Hawkins. So they were definitely ready, like you said, for this game.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, these 2-way contracts really stood out this week 1. The players that have already been there, hit the pros and came back. But just remember, don't get disheartened about it. You guys are going to progress.
Exactly.
You'll catch right up there with them. And it'll be mid-season or even before. You're going to see your progressions take an impact in games. And what I want to punch home to you guys that are wide receivers or tight ends or what, don't look at how many yards you're getting. Look at your catches. You got 5 catches, 6 catches, no drops, or 4 catches. That's important too. The amount of catches you get without a drop, people recognize that. We see it. So just look at the small things. Like you may not get, like I told people last season, you may not get 8, 6, 10 receptions a game or targets, but you got 2 or 3. When did those 2 or 3 come? Was it big moments of the game that made an impact for a first down, or did your team wait to look to you in the end zone like that? It's the quality of stuff, not the quantity. So pay attention to that. Have pride in whatever you got like that, and look at the positive side of it.
Indeed. And also look at the game too for an opportunity to see what your player needs to improve on. So if you're getting more drops than catches, or if you're finding yourself just missing, then there's something that you could probably improve with your catching, adding more points or more value to certain attributes. It's very important. And for anybody, we're going to definitely talk about this last game. For anybody, any rookie that's listening to me, please, as a GM, we do look at the contracts. We do look at your player abilities, but we do look at the contracts that you have. I mean, the progressions that you've done, what your player build is. If you spend all your time adding all these high value, low value animations before you get your attributes in order, then your player, to be frank, won't ever be as good as it could be, because you didn't spend the time to make your core, your base, as strong as possible. When you add the animations at the end, that's just the icing on the cake. That's just the cherry on top.
You don't need the animations all the way like that.
You don't.
I had my SFLm. I've had a whole rookie season, and I've not had one animation, and I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Exactly. So I know people get really, I can add this. No, don't do it. All right, last game was the Lincoln Rattlesnakes taking on the Ottawa Cavalry, and closer game to watch. Very exciting. It looks like both defenses was working hard on this game, holding the Lincoln Rattlesnakes were able to score 229 yards passing, where Ottawa had 262 yards passing. Ottawa wound up scoring most of their points in the third quarter, 14 points, whereas in the second quarter, they were only able to score a field goal, as well as in the fourth quarter. And then the Lincoln Rattlesnakes had just a field goal in the first, and a touchdown in the third, and another field goal in the fourth. So they were definitely playing lights out on defense. Pretty close with time and possession, only 2 minutes, 2-minute difference, give or take. But Ottawa did have a turnover, but still came out victorious. So sometimes just because you get a interception doesn't mean you're going to lose the game. So what do you have to say about that?
I expected things to be better for Ottawa last season. And I told you earlier last season, I expect them to turn around and I told Axel, but it never happened. And I said it again on Axel's show before the season started. I expected Ottawa to turn around, and they had a big, tough game. I mean, Lincoln is Lincoln is the most stacked team on this depth chart or whatever you want to call it for the season. I mean, they're almost a full roster. So, and they have some high quality people in there. And for Ottawa to come out and play the way they did, I was impressed to even hold it to 3-3 at half. Just 3 points apiece at half. I mean, that's big. But again, like we said multiple times, not to repeat myself and kick a dead horse, but it's still week one. Nobody could scout anybody. People are going to see what you did well, what you didn't do well, and go from there. And it's going to get tougher from here on out. But Lincoln, I think what affected them a little bit was some of the drops. Some of the drops they had from wide receivers. So I think if they clean up the small stuff, they're good to go. They're good to go. They're good
Definitely.
to go.
I agree. You're right. You know, it is when you're scouting, whether it's majors, and I would think with any sport, it's very hard for you to prepare for that week one because you don't know what changes the coaches have implemented. You don't know even if it's a new coaching staff. You just don't know how to prepare for it. So yeah, you're right. Don't be discouraged about it. And there are some definite honorable mentions even in this game with Lincoln Lottie Lou. I remember him being drafted. He's also one of those two-way contracts you was talking about. 3 receptions for 46 yards. Then you also had special shout out to this young lady, Skippy Curtis. Now, ever since she joined, I had the pleasure of meeting this young woman during the convention. Well, I tell you, I had so much fun watching her and Curtis react. It was wonderful to see those two together. They just great couple to watch.
Who was it? I couldn't hear you.
Skippy Curtis.
Yeah, I heard Skippy.
Yes. So when I had the pleasure to meet her in Texas when we went to the convention. And just seeing her and Curtis together was awesome. But she has been a fireball since she's been in the league. Like she's out there, she's, when she's in chat, she's just all over the place. She's rooting on her team. She's, just making herself known. So that's the key. If you want to get drafted, if you want to get the attention, may not be from your gameplay and maybe from just how active you are in the community, how active you are in chat. So definitely shout out to Skippy Curtis, cornerback, for that. And her 5 tackles as well. And 2 pass deflections.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 pass deflections as well. Let's see, on the Ottawa side, I'm going to give some shout outs too. Timothy Connolly with his 6 tackles and 2 assists and 1 tackle for loss, where we have Josh Neal, strong safety, with 5 tackles and 2 assists. So yeah, week one, keep grinding, y'all. You got it. Congratulations.
Caller at Tyson Burns too, getting that.
Right.
I mean, first game, 100 yards, right there. That's amazing.
Yeah, you're right. Tyson Burns, 6 receptions, 100 yards. Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about with the drop and stuff. I think he had 1 drop, but yes. I mean, still had one heck of a game. So
Indeed.
don't get down on it.
No, never. Just try to find a way to be better. So we're going to go over quickly. What are your thoughts on next week? 1 second. I'm going to have to actually edit this part out because I did not have the screen pulled up already. So now I
don't even know what the schedule is for next week.
I got you, love. I'm on the website. If you want to take a minute to pull it up, you can. Or I can just tell you. I can just read it and then you can just tell me your thoughts.
And is it on the SFLm?
Yeah, SFLm schedule, and then you go to week 2.
Oh, you're gonna leave this part in.
No, I mean I can. It'd be like we're doing a live. Give that whole live feel too.
All right.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right, love. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, so now we're getting ready to go over week 2 and our thoughts about that. So, interesting matchups. We have the Albuquerque. This is all going to be on next Friday, 29th. Well, this coming Friday, I should say, 29th. The Albuquerque Adams will be taking on the Annapolis Navigators, which should be a great game to watch. I mean, Annapolis just won their game. Adams is still looking for that win. Adams are no joke. When they get the rust knocked off of them, you know, they're going to definitely be a contender. The Annapolis Navigators are off to a great start. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going and be able to take on this, get another win.
All right. For the Albuquerque Adams versus the Annapolis Navigators. Like I said, everything's going to change. We'll see what happens. I think the Adams are going to come out more determined because they didn't want to have a first game showing like that coming back into the league again. But I'm going to have to take the Navigators in that one. And then you want to keep going on down? All right. So
we're gonna go down.
all right.
Yeah, you're gonna go with the Madison Lynx, right?
Yeah, I got to.
All right, and next up we have the Lincoln Rattlesnakes. They'll be taking on the Lexington Miners. Now, keep in mind, the Lincoln Rattlesnakes did just come off a loss, and the Lexington Miners came off a win. So we're going to see how that translates over to this new week. What say you?
I think this will probably be the game of the week. I'm looking forward to this one. It's two good teams. Both want to come back out and prove something. I think talent-wise, Lincoln's got the advantage, and like I said, a couple mistakes cost them last week. I think the coaching staff really fixes that and makes the little minor adjustments they needed, and they're going to start taking off like people expected them to. So slow start, but they're going to get rolling, and I'm going to take Lincoln over Lexington.
Indeed. Ottawa Cavalry will be taking on the Madison Lynx. Also a great game to watch where Ottawa is coming off a win and Madison is coming off a loss again. Kind of same boat. Depends on, to me, I think it depends on which defense is going to show up. First of all, you're going to have to stop Annapolis Navigators rushing. If you can't do that, then you may be heading, for another L in that column. So hope if you can stop the rushing game, you may have a chance. What say you?
Oh yeah. The main thing is stopping Square Bush if they can stop it. But you said the Madison and Ottawa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Lynx, not okay.
Ottawa, I have to pull for the Lynx because of the alumni. I think it's going to be a tough game for them until they get this offense rolling. if they can do that, I think Madison comes away with the win. Like I said, I'm picking them no matter what, but it's going to be tough against Ottawa, who had a very, very strong opening. It's not going to be an easy match like it was last season. So they need to be on their toes on this one. Keep that ball on your side. No turnovers. No silly stuff. Just if it ain't working, switch it up. Figure it out. Let's go.
Indeed.
Let's go.
For me, I think this is going to be game of the week right here. San Jose Flight taking on Tacoma Grizzlies. Both of these teams came off fantastic wins. Tacoma Grizzlies scored really high. So it lets me know that this is probably going to be an offensive battle, probably coming down to who has the ball last, in my opinion. What about you?
I think, let me see here real quick what I have. I'll tell you what I think. You can have the game of the week title for yours, and I'll keep mine. but this is going to be a fun one. This is a close runner-up for game of the week for me. With Tacoma showed what they can do offensively. San Jose, we all know what they do. They air the hell out of the ball. It's they're gonna come out and throw, and you're gonna have to stop it. But Tacoma's defense, I think Maldonado played well enough in week one. We'll see how big of an impact that can be. And that's what I think it's going to come down to. It's either going to be, like you said, who has the ball last at the end of the game, which I think could be pretty high scoring. Or it's going to come down to not who had the ball last, but who was able to make that one turnover and who didn't make that mistake. It's gonna be one big play, I think. One big turnover or mistake, or it's gonna come down to who had the ball last, like you said. It's gonna be an exciting one.
Indeed. I can't wait to see how everything shapes up. And hey, good luck to all the rookies out there. Make sure you give it your all, make sure you listen to your coaches and or whoever is giving you those progression suggestions. They've been in the league for a while, so pretty much know what they're talking about. So fun stuff. Now, before we slide over to the Wildcard conversations, I wanted to get your take real quick on Queen City. What did you think about the season as a whole? And where do you think they go from here?
QCC. QCC drafted me 16th pick in the first round. It's been amazing. QCC, a lot of friendships in there. The locker room's awesome. The guys are awesome. BJ, Tom, Coach Comisac while he was there. I have nothing but high things to say about everybody there and nothing but respect for each of them. It's a heck of a place. As far as the season goes, it didn't really bother me one way or the other. It was very Madison type feel. We would get going and then fall off and get going again, fall off. And so I was kind of used to that. But I also went into it with the understanding of what they said, which was they were very straightforward about it. It being a part of a rebuild, they're working on some stuff. And so I didn't expect to go in and win it all. So that didn't play a factor in anything. It was a fun first season. I had little personal goals. And for being able to finish with over 50 tackles and stuff like that for a rookie year, I think that was fun for me. I didn't, like I say, have to have, a bad showing. So that just made it enjoyable. Win or lose, it was a fun season there. With the news breaking of, Coach Comisac leaving, they've got a new coach in there. So they've already got the ball rolling on what they need to do to change stuff for next season. They've got some big name people on there, and they're going to lose some big name. Like if BJ gets this bid, nice. I'm pretty sure. I think the combination of BJ and Axel is going to get in there. It's a very special combination of veteran experience. Somebody's been here a while and somebody quote unquote newer to the league, but with the high drive Axel has, and as much as he does for this league and quality of content that he puts out, and not just that, the informational, educational quality that he puts out for, hey, if you want to scout, here's these videos, I'll show you how to do it.
Exactly.
So it's a great combination. I'm excited for all of them to put in there. And as far as the rest of QCC needs, that's a question for the coaching staff. This new head coach, I haven't had a chance to talk to him personally yet, but his vision may be totally different than Coach Comasac's, and that's okay. I wish Coach Comasac the best, and whatever he ends up doing now or wherever he goes. Like I said, I have nothing but love for QCC, but I'm going to be testing free agency, so I wish QCC luck with the rest of everything else they got going on as well. Like I said, nothing but respect for the organization. The locker room's not bad. The people aren't bad. It's nothing like that. It's just, I think it's time for me to test something else.
Hey, when you are a GM or owner and things like that, and when someone comes to you and tells you, one of your players tell you that they want to test free agency, you look to see what improvements could be made, or try to find out why. But ultimately, you just wish them the best because you want them to be happy. You want them to remain in the league. So to you for making that decision, I know that did not come lightly. I do wish you the best of luck in wherever you decide to go. But I do understand why he decided to do it. That's why we have one-term contracts. If you want to go see what it's like somewhere else, that's fine.
I wanted to speak on that for a second. It was, I was very straightforward with QCC on that because I have so much respect for them. The guys there, they become friends, and with the shakeup coming, the huge shakeup coming, that with the expansion of 4 teams and then the emptying out of pretty much the minors, I wanted to let them know as early as possible, because I did have that respect for them, that now is the best time for them to be able to plug a hole in to fix me leaving and not kind of screw over the people that I say I cared about. You know what I'm saying? To leave and give them the best chance available to plug that slot. And I understand why some people wait. I do, trust me, because now you have to sit in the locker room and wait, right? And some people don't want to have to sit there in the locker room and wait and get, hey, stay. We did this, or you did this, or you promised us this, or this, or that, or this, and that's why people wait. And that's why you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Like I said, if I was an owner, I would say, hey, if you don't respond, I'm gonna act like you're gone, and it's no hard feelings. But I have to protect the team. I have to do what I do, and I shouldn't be sitting here expecting QCC to hold me a spot if nothing opens up. It's a risk you take. Did you do well enough to be wanted? It's not fair to QCC. It's not fair to me to expect that of them, to say, hey, I want to test this out, but hold my spot. No. I wanted to tell you up front, tell you thank you for everything you've done. Wish you the best luck and all that stuff. And if I sit in free agency for a year, then I guess I sit in free agency for a year. You know what I'm saying? But it's, how much do you really care about those people you say are your friends or your teammates that you said you cared about? You talked about, my big thing was the loyalty stuff. Okay. I think I play with honor. I think I play as, me, I've been on here enough. I wanted it to be upfront and say that stuff, and still be loyal to that team and that aspect of it, of giving you the best chance and not screwing you over. But that was something I battled with making this decision, and I'm sure a lot of other guys are doing right now. Life changes. You may say you're loyal to a team, you're going to be loyal to a team, but life happens. And that's what I had to come to terms with myself was, man, I don't want to be the guy that goes back on his word. My word means something, but I didn't expect things to progress as quickly as it had this year with the shakeup coming. Okay, I expected to be here 2-3 seasons with friends, and now's the time. Big names are going to be moving. Big names are going to get teams. Now's the best chance for you to move if you're going to make the move. And if you don't make the move and you want to stay where you're at, just know, it may be a couple seasons unless something opens up, because we're getting ready to fill up and people are going to be set for a little bit. So if you're pondering it or thinking, hey, this might not be the right place for me, shoot your shot now, because you might get stuck. And like I said, nothing but love for them. They've shown me nothing but love, and I'm just ready to take the next step in what I have long-term goals here in the SFL. I plan on being here a long time. So that's it. I didn't mean to get winded on you, but
no, you're good. It was important for you to put that out there, because some other people may take that as, how could you say that you're being loyal when you're leaving? You know what I mean? Again,
like I said, things happen. Things change.
Exactly.
I think Eddie Gage said it best. He hates when people say this team for life, because things happen. I'm not going to be loyal to a team, so loyal to a team that it's detrimental to me. I'm not going to sit and suffer in a locker room. This wasn't QCC, but I'm just saying in general. If you're in a locker room and you don't mess with the coach, or you don't mesh with, the players coming on, and it's horrible for you, why stay loyal to the team when you're not happy? We're paying for it. You're paying for that locker room. You're paying there to be happy. Go somewhere else. Test it out. The grass ain't always greener, but at least you try. And like I said, I don't want to be known as somebody that goes from team to team to team to team to team to team. That ain't me. I am a man of my word. I am that. But things happen. Things change, and nobody in this league was really prepared for this season to be the season for it to happen. Everybody talked about it being maybe next season or after next season, so situations changed, and people play with friends, and friends retire, and they may be wanting to go somewhere else, or hey, you may only really like playing for this coach. You said you're going to be loyal to, well, let's just say Baltimore, for instance. You may be loyal to Baltimore. You may be loyal to QCC. You may be loyal to one of these other teams, but you'll only really play for that one coach that you really like, or you mesh well with, and they get a new team, so you go there. I'm not going to fault you. I'm going to wish you the best. You're my friend. I'm not going to try to guilt trip you or keep you or try to make you, what I'm saying? No, I'm not trying to feel bad or nothing. But if you're that person's friend, you're going to want what's best for them. Teammate, coach, whatever it is, coach moves on. Yeah, okay, you're upset about it. We're a family here, but you still want to see that coach do well. So wish them luck wherever they're at. If it works out in the future where you might end up back with them, good for you. But everybody has reasons for making moves. I don't fault anybody in this league for making a move. And if they make a move now and they say something to their team, I give them props, because you really showed you're looking out for the people you said you did care about. They did mean something to you, and you didn't screw them over and just did it.
Right. And I mean, I don't think people, if you take we're going to get ready. I promise we're going to shoot it over to the interviews, but I think it's important to also understand too, that even as a GM, we have a certain amount of time to get a certain amount of players. So if we know in advance that you're going to leave, even if you're thinking about it, I think it's better suited for the team, because we can make those decisions to where if we have to ask somebody to maybe switch a position, or to maybe bring somebody out of retirement, at least we will have the time to do so. But when you want to wait until the day free agency signings, or you want to wait until the very last second to make this decision when you knew where you wanted to go yesterday, that's not fair. It's not fair to us as GMs and as team owners that try so hard to look after the other 20 some odd people that we have on our team that's going to stay. And so that's the least that you can do for my 2 cents is let me know early so that I can go out here and get what we need. Kudos to you. I wish you the best of luck, and you always going to be, from what we say, you're always going to be a Scorpion flag. We're always going to revere you as that brother or sister. But if you want to move on, to perceptively greener pastures, then that's kudos for you. Do your thing. But just let me know early. That's all I ask. Because that situation that we had to deal with this season with the Hands brothers, like when I tell you this, I got like about 2 or 3 extra grades from that. Just trying to find people on the fly to help fill our needs that was still comparable to what we lost. It's difficult. So just look out. That's all.
Now I know why you changed your background. So you can't see all that.
Indeed.
That's okay. I got a couple now too. That's from the kids.
Exactly. The kids plus SFL, everything's silver. But we're kicking it off now. Next up, we have Wildcard playoff game conversations coming right up.
Well, 7-5 isn't exactly the Sioux Falls standard that we have for ourselves, but at the same time, this 7-5 team's been able to do some of the things that those 8-4, 9-3 teams maybe weren't able to do as well. So when you're able to do what we've been able to do this season with the turnover differential, that's being aggressive and being explosive on both sides of the ball, but also not being reckless and not giving it right back. That's a special thing that obviously it's a record. So we haven't been able to do that in the past. No team has. So it's a special thing, and we hope to build on that here in the playoffs and come away with that chip. The locker room's pumped. These guys are ready to go. They've been through the ups and the downs. We have a lot of veterans here. We have a lot of guys that have been through it all, and they're still here. So we have some rookies as well that have been key cogs in the wheel. Very explosive options and very consistent reliability, which is not always easy to get. So it's been an important part of getting back on track and getting back into the playoffs and hopefully getting back to the championship game and finishing the damn thing this time. Yeah. The last 2 seasons were rough, so there's no doubt about it. But it doesn't change the expectations around here. Even during those games, even during those seasons, the expectation is to always go out and win the football game. So we had a rough go of it, and we lost some people along the way, and that made it a tough couple seasons to go through. But we're moving ahead, and we knew what we were capable of, even in the midst of all that, and it helped us to progress and get better and put us in a position to where we set our guys up for success. And we see that with a lot of these guys that have worked hard, built their way up, and now they're reliable and playmakers, and it's showing up on the stat sheet, and it's showing up in wins and losses, and we just need to take that the rest of the way. That game against Florida, that's a statement game, because that's a game that people didn't expect you to win, because Florida, they're the Florida Storm, and that's one of the top franchises in this entire league. So whenever you can beat them in the playoffs, you're saying something, you've done something. So, and it says something about what you're doing as a team. So it was really more consistency, what we've been doing all year. It hasn't really mattered what type of team we've faced, where they've been at in the standings, how efficient they are with the ball. These guys have found ways to take away the ball, and this offense has found ways to not give that ball right back, but instead take it to the house and put points on the board. And it's led to a lot of wins, and we're hoping that it leads to a big win, or 2 or 3 or 30 moving forward. We expect to go all the way. That has to be the mentality. I'm never going to, if I didn't think we weren't going to win a championship, I wouldn't do this. It doesn't matter what season it is, doesn't matter what game it is, the expectation always has to be to win and to reach the top. If people are here without that expectation, well, I hope they're not the coach, because the expectation has to be to win. That's what we owe to our players, and we love what we do, and we can have fun, and we can be lifers having fun, and all the more power to that. But we want to win. That's what it's all about. Let's get it done. My mind's not even on retaining players right now. It's when I'm in the playoffs, you're lucky if you can get a reply from me in a DM. Heck, it's that way in the season too, but definitely in the playoffs, it's got to be, the mentality always has to be about the next game in front of us and getting the job done in that regard. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Obviously, there's a lot of big veterans that people always go after every single season, and these guys have stuck by us and shown loyalty, and it's showing up on the field because they're making plays, and it's just a beautiful thing when you see this guy make a play and that guy make a play, and it's like everyone's taking turns just being a force for this football team. So we're going to enjoy it, and hopefully we can keep it. But right now, that's not on my mind. Right now, Lone Star is on my mind, and we need to get another win. My plans for the future, there's not really a specific new goal in mind as far as what our goals are, what they've always been. We want to win, we want to reach the top, and we want to stay in the top and enjoy it for a while. So we've had a couple teams in this league get some back-to-backs and things like that. We'll take the next step. Heck, let's do that and then do more. We want to win, we want to have fun, we want to reach the top and then do it all over again. Those are my only plans right now. Yeah, the ESTV deal is I'm not gonna pretend to be hugely familiar with all that, but anytime, we've been here long enough to see that the league has gotten a lot of different deals and a lot of different sponsors and things like that. So when that happens, it's just more eyes on your football team. It's more eyes on the league. So, and that's always a good thing. So that's an exciting thing. And obviously the convention is rolling around again. That's a great thing. Usually I'm in the middle of a desert somewhere when that happens, but it's still exciting that we have it. It's still exciting that we can have it, and it's exciting that we can come together and build some memories in the SFL and really enjoy it. So that's something that I just hope that we'll keep building on, and it's great. But yeah, maybe one of these times I won't be in the middle of a desert somewhere. So I don't know, but I don't think people want to do a convention when it's snowing or something. So that's just the breaks. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate what you do and what you've done for this league as a player, and as a person as well. We appreciate you, and best of luck to you moving forward. Let's go Sparrows. Get it done.
I think I got my swagger back.
All right. What are your thoughts on the Dragon season as a whole? So I would say overall it was a good season. It was not a great season. We did make it to the playoffs, which is something to be grateful for. However, we didn't perform when it came time to actually matter. I think as a team, we defied expectations, which is important. It's a foundational year for us to build upon. But I wouldn't say anyone here is satisfied with the outcome. I think we've just viewing it as a building block for the future, and it's one that will be remembered but not cherished. What is the locker room vibe like right now? I would say the locker room vibe is very optimistic. People are thankful for the experience we've shared together, as am I, and, very hopeful for the future ahead. We made 100% progressions again. Certainly not a very noteworthy accomplishment, but one that continues to bind us together with the fortitude to continue to operate as a system of value that will create positive outcomes for years to come. So I'd say it's not in a dreary state, a negative one. It's very, again, optimistic and hopeful for the future, and certainly a sincere feeling of gratefulness for our leadership in Lord Destro, in Shabazz, and the other leadership figures within our organization that kind of brought us here within this year. What are your thoughts on your Wildcard performance as a team and individual? So, as an individual, I didn't really contribute too much. A few extra points here and there. I did not have the opportunity to kick a field goal. And in recognition of the team, I think that offensively and defensively, we put up a good performance. Ultimately, not one that could take down the Desperados. I hold no resentment, no feelings of remorse or wishing that we had done something differently. I think that's just the way, the dice rolls in a simulated sport based upon chance. There's just times when your team performs better, and there's times when your team does not. So I'd say for the fact that we got to the playoffs is an accomplishment in itself, but ultimately the outcome was not what we desired, and it's going to motivate us to perform at a higher level of potential in the coming years. What are your plans for the future in SFL? My personal plans don't really deviate from the current trajectory that I'm on. I continue to stay loyal to the Dragons, see myself continuing to be the kicker here, grateful for this opportunity, and looking to build upon it. In the first season, I think I went 17 for 20. In the second season, I went 19 for 20. Still working to get 100% of my progression attributes, fully invested. There's still lots of animations to unlock, but I'm years and years and years away from getting up to some of the highest performing kickers that are putting up 200 plus field goals in career points. So I've got a while to go, but I'm along for the ride. I don't really plan on deviating from the player kind of path that I'm on. I don't really have an interest in taking any ownership role within the SFL or kind of growing anything else from here. Kind of satisfied with being a player and hearing my name called, seeing myself kick some field goals every now and then, and an onside kick or two. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Talk about one event that is happening or that has happened that you want to give your thoughts about. So if you've been following the SimPod, for 68 episodes, you might have noticed that we've stopped producing content over the past, month, might be going on month 2 right now. And, just wanted to share that the reason we've had to halt our creative process is that we received a code of conduct violation from the SFL because we called the Lone Star Glory the glory holes. A simple play on words, not something racist, sexist, homophobic. We weren't targeting a specific individual. We were simply creating content for the masses, and we're now in a holding period where if we potentially release another episode where we say the Lone Star Glory Holes, we could be potentially kicked out of the league, not just as not just as the SimPod, but actually as SFL players. And, that's really weighing pretty heavily on, Douglas Brown, Benny Butcher, and myself, Pawti, where we want the freedom of speech to create content that is accessible, that is cherished by a broad audience, without the feelings of, potential decline and decay of, any legacy that we may have in establishing ourselves as players within this league. So I'd say that's kind of the major thing from the SFL. Other than that, the other thing I'd like to touch on today, if you haven't heard of the Goals League, it's a simulation hockey league, really fantastic, bunch of SFL players in there, growing rapidly. I think there's over 400 players. I actually just accepted the position of head coach of the minor league team, the Warsaw Warlocks. Would love to have anybody that's interested come join us in Goals. In the minor leagues, you play 4 games a week. So that's, typically Monday through Thursday. It wouldn't conflict with your SFL schedule on the weekends. It's really great to be a part of both of these leagues and the ability to, grow as a player or to grow as an owner in something that kind of fits you better. So if you're interested, DM me. I'm at Pawti on, Discord. Would love to, talk goals with you and get you on board in those Warlock colors. Thanks again for having me on the show today. Really appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and your audience, and looking forward to what the future holds.
All right, everybody, welcome back to my playoff panel. Now, what you will see is a few different groups across the podcast, trying to work with everyone's schedules and everything like that. So looks like we lost both. Looks like he'll be back in a moment. But I do have a few participants in this past weekend's games, and they are Mr. Ramos Lynn from the Mexico City Aztecs, Mr. Mike All from Jacksonville Kings, and Mr. Bo Martin Jr. Actually, they will be playing this coming week, so it'll be interesting hearing his take on what he saw that transpired over the weekend. So, gentlemen, start off with Ramos. How are you doing?
I'm great, Ashley. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm great. I mean, it's a late Sunday night that we are recording this, but I love this. I love it. I think I like it better actually here. Late night. It's quiet here in the because I live like in a place with more apartments. It's really quiet, so I have nobody bothering me. So that's really good.
Totally agree. Children sleep.
Oh yeah,
No
absolutely. There you go. There's no parties. Sometimes on Fridays and Saturdays it's pretty loud, but on Sundays it's all quiet.
Yes, got to go to bed, getting ready to go to work.
There you go.
Mike, how are you?
I've been better, but I'm doing well.
Yeah, I understand that. It's good seeing you, though.
It's good to be seen.
Well, gentlemen, let's start off by talking about your respective seasons your prospective team seasons. Ramos, tell us a little bit about Mexico City's season overall.
I mean, we always have high expectations for our team, especially after last season. We were just an onside kick away from being in the championship game, losing against Baltimore in that semifinals game. So we did have pretty high expectations. We knew that our roster is very young and we still have to progress quite a bit, especially on the defensive side. We do have players that are making incredible plays and standouts, and just guys who are making leaps and bounds. Dan Tritz, Jeffrey Dax, Ben Charbs playing really well. Ronnie Watson, and I can speak about Gerard Brody, who's really coming into his own and being a number one shutdown corner, and Jermaine Menefiel on the other side, also doing great stuff. But we knew it was going to be difficult this season. We knew our division was going to be very tough with Lone Star. Bo, hopefully he's back in a minute. Lone Star has had a great season. Fort Worth was never an easy out. The game we had against them, it went to overtime. And obviously Houston, who always has a very potent offense. So we knew it was going to be difficult. So making the playoffs is always an accomplishment, really, in this league. Even if you go 6-6, 7-5, make the playoffs, that's big, because it's difficult to win in this league. But a little bit disappointed that it ended in the first round. And congratulations to Charleston. They had a great game plan, but it was a little bit disappointing.
Indeed. All right, Mike, what about you in Jacksonville?
Hey, we outperformed everybody's predictions, except our own, because we knew we were going to be successful. The team was built to win, and we tried some different stuff last season. And it wasn't up to Jacksonville standards. So I filled in some of the holes that we needed to fill as a GM, and Frank went back to knowing what works and did what worked. And for almost the whole season, we were leading that division. We stumbled at the end, which was disappointing, but made the playoffs. Hopefully starting a new streak where we were tied with Mexico City for a while and until we stumbled last season and gave Ramos the crown for most consecutive playoff trips. But our team succeeded exactly the way we knew we would. Made it to the playoffs, and it didn't end the way we were hoping, but it was still a great season nonetheless, and I'm proud of all the work that my guys put in out on that field.
Awesome. Now, gentlemen, tell me, what is the overall vibe in the locker room right now? I get it, obviously people are not happy about the outcome of the games, but what else is going on in there? Are they talking about leaving? Are they talking about what's the overall vibe?
No, for us, it's exactly the opposite. We are a very young football team. We have a lot of rookies and sophomore players, again, especially in the defensive side. So they know that it's a matter of time. You have guys like in teams such as Vancouver and Baltimore and those teams that they've been together for many seasons. So they know, our players know that instead of breaking apart and trying to find other teams, the fact that we can stay together and continue to progress together and because it works. What we're doing is working. It's just we need to continue to get better at it. It's if we made it to the semifinals last season, if we make it a playoffs again, the future has to be very bright. So instead of being again disappointment and we are upset about it, is good season. It's been a great run. We played some really good games. Offensively, we did some great things. Ranking top 5 in most categories. Points scored and passing yards and all those things. So instead of being negative atmosphere, it's totally opposite. It's been very positive, and most guys are willing to be back and excited to be back for next season and for seasons to come.
That is great to hear. I love to hear that. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, there's nothing but love in our locker room. All the guys were disappointed that we lost, but everyone has come in and expressed gratitude for the season that we had and the friendships in the locker room that we had this season. There's a lot to be proud of. Take one Hale leading the league in sacks. Connor Darien being the number one cornerback in interceptions. Just one off of the lead. But he was one off the lead to Josh Rowe, who was a monster this season. We have a couple guys, Stuart Zamelia and Forrest Dalton, who I'd say are pretty strong candidates for defensive rookie of the season. We had an amazing offensive line that kept Marcus Dunhill upright more than majority of the quarterbacks out there. I believe he was tied for first, but either way, he was still first in least amount of sacks. So that says a lot for what they do on the offensive line. And our ball hawking secondary was just awesome. We took the ball away from so many people this season, and what we did offensively, Marcus throwing the most touchdowns in the league. It was an amazing season, and guys are certainly proud of that. But we do know there's going to be a couple holes that we're going to need to fill. One or two people have already let me know how much they love being in the locker room, how much they love the season, but they're going to be looking to broaden their horizons. And with myself and John Martin already putting together a plan for what we're going to do, I think we're more than capable of repeating, or if not, doing better next season. So.
Indeed. And that's why we have those one season contracts, like anybody that want to have a change of scenery, feel free to do that. Explore the league. Would we like to retain you? Would we like to keep our rosters intact so we don't have to do the searching and continue to build up on the team and to build up the team to where we want it to be? You also have the right to be able to explore wherever you want to go. You're paying your money just like everybody else. So so to both of you, what do you think that your respective organizations have to do to get over that hump? Because you both have been in the playoff contention and for a long time. I know Jacksonville, you kind of had that season where you kind of fell off a little bit, but of course you picked right back up on it. So what do you guys think that you have to do to be able to go a little bit further? And like Ramos, I've watched you 3 seasons, man.
Yeah. For us, I think we have to take care of the football better starting next season. We have obviously a great quarterback, Hall of Famer. We have a great running back who is going to be a Hall of Famer in Phoenix Jones, I'm pretty sure. Our fullback as well is right in front of him, Mike Diggs. And the rest of our wide receiving core, which is for the most part coming back. Jacob McCall has announced he will be retiring after this game because of real life situations. It's nothing against the league, it's nothing against the team or anything. It's just a part of life, and hopefully he's back in future seasons. We've seen guys step away, take care of life, and then come back stronger than ever. So, but our wide receivers are gonna be set put. Mike Diggs coming back, of course. So we're gonna keep most of our players intact, but I think I have to do a better job at game planning for us, protecting the football on offense and on defense. We have to also get better at taking the football away from the opposing team and just being able to shut down offenses more consistently. This was probably our worst season defensively in a long time, where we normally are in the top 10. This season we were in the lower end of the league, and those two things ended up biting us in the behind against Charleston. We threw out a lot of interceptions, and Charleston scored 44 on us, and that was it. That was the game. So I think those two things. Again, the core and what we're doing is really good, for the most part. But obviously there's always a chance for improvement.
Indeed. And I respect you. I respect you so much, Ramos,
Appreciate it.
for taking the time out to really dissect, think about what you are going to improve on. And even taking the time out to celebrate what you have done, because I think that's important.
Sure.
You can't just wallow in sorrow and, oh my gosh, you can't.
Sure. At the end of the day, you don't make, what is it, 12 consecutive playoff appearances, by accident, or, and you don't, you don't have the players that you have by accident and the protection that they're having by accident. So, there's a lot to celebrate, and there's a lot to be very excited about, but there's also a lot of room for improvement and to say, you know what, we're this good. Why are we not moving further than what we are right now? So, it's on to next season, and I think it's going to be very exciting, especially with the 4 new teams coming for next season. So, yeah.
Indeed. Mike, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we the most glaring issue is getting Jared going. He's a much better running back than the last 2 or 3 seasons have shown. Much more talented, much more capable of having those 1,000-yard plus seasons. So we're not sure what's going on there, but Frank is definitely going to be working on game planning for getting him more of those monster games that he used to have. That's the first glaring issue, because we got to keep teams honest.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have teams just being able to stuff him right at the goal line or 2 or 3 yards forward. He's got to be able to bust those big runs like he used to. Otherwise, keeping the ball in our hands is an issue too. We got to tone down the amount of interceptions. But I mean, who doesn't, right, Ashley?
You damn right about that. I was just getting ready to say, you know me.
Well, yeah, we tone down the amount of interceptions that we throw while maintaining the high amount of interceptions that we take. I think once we correct that, Jacksonville is going to be dang near unstoppable.
All right then. I definitely relate to that interception thing. I'm like Oprah in that thing. Just you get a ball. You want one too? Hey, Bo, there you go, bro.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, welcome back to Bo Martin Jr. and welcome to Mr. Dion Hawkins. He is owner of the Tulsa Desperados and won his game. Oh, I know he's excited. He just ready.
Right.
Oh yeah.
What up? What's happening?
Hey man, congratulations, brother. How you
Appreciate it. I'm good. Living the dream.
Indeed, I bet you are.
Fucking right.
And Bo Martin Jr. just back there sitting pretty at number 4 spot, watching everything go down.
I mean, I didn't really have much to say when it comes to the games this week, because I was sitting at home watching them, like a fan. It was a really good feeling to be able to kind of just let everybody beat each other up this weekend, and hopefully they've gone and done a really good job at tenderizing the meat so we can eat next week.
Oh, shots fired already. I'm gonna come right back to you, Bo. But Dion, I'm gonna get you kind of caught up on the questions that I've been asking Mike and Ramos.
Okay.
What is your take on your season entirely as of right now?
Redemption. Coming back from the dead. We the Undertaker as far as I'm concerned of the SFL. Like, we done had a few down seasons, and it's hard to just turn things around. Like, when you're on the outside looking in, when you controlling over everything, it's so hard, because 1 or 2 players changing their mind on something, or 1 or 2 plays here or there that you put or took out your playbook can derail a one game. Or even if it's week 3, when it comes to week 12, like, damn, 1 or 2 plays, if I would have added that in week 3, would determine whether you get into the playoffs or not. Like, it's great teams that miss the playoffs every single year, so people just don't realize how hard it is. And I was actually I had to realize that by going through it, because when I first became an owner, I thought the shit was cake. I mean, I worked my way up being an offensive coordinator. Started my first 8 games 8-0 when Tulsa first started in season 10, and shit after that, things changed. I mean, we was competitive, we made playoffs, but it was hard. We had people leave and some situations happened. So just there's redemption, because I know how hard I work and my players and my front office and my staff, and so just the fact of getting there. When I know I'm like, we just need our foot in the door. Let's get a pinky toe in there. I don't give a fuck who we play first round. We gonna show the league that we behind the scenes, and we've been working behind the scenes, because we not all in the spotlight and out front a lot of times. But yeah, it's been good so far, but shit, it ain't over, so we keep pushing.
Indeed. And you're right. Tulsa has been through its share of ups and downs. The season I left, we lost a lot of people that season. Inadvertently,
Yep.
I didn't know that was going to happen, but I know that you did have to build up the team again. So I definitely understand what you're saying from a redemption. Hey, I had to go through this fire all over again, because, a lot of people left. Then you had to find those coaches and everybody that was going to help you do what you envisioned, and you did that. So I'm always going to be happy for you, brother. I'm always going to be a fan of Tulsa, especially since that was my start. So people often underrated you guys. Often.
Not often, every single time. I don't know if y'all
single time.
seen, but that's literally our motto this season is collect the X. We got 9 victories. We haven't been picked one time. So I don't know if y'all see Jason Francis tweet, but we got a trophy case of X's every single time. Not one time we were picked to win. I think the DC game was like 145 to like 50 or something ridiculous. So no respect, but I mean, it's all good. I understand. So it is what it is, but it's just that bulletin board material every single week. Another X we put in the trophy case.
Apparently, a lot of y'all had some bulletin board material.
Just so you
Bo
know,
picked
I
us. Yeah. See, he was smart. We heard with it. We heard.
Didn't I pick y'all? I think I picked y'all too.
Oh, you probably did. Yeah. I mean, the majority did. Is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, ain't nothing wrong a week or two, couple of weeks, but literally every single week, we in the playoffs going over his team that ain't got no shot in the playoffs. I'm like, damn, at least one time. Like, maybe, but it's all good. It is what it is.
Yeah, dude. What is the overall vibe in the locker room right now?
Ecstatic. I mean, everybody just like how I am. Like, we knew it. Like, we all knew it the whole time, but it's just the league, majority, not everyone, but majority of the league didn't see it. So, I mean, they excited. They was in the voice chat an hour and a half after the game, still talking about, okay, we watching who we got next week. It's finally paying off, and I love this team. You know what I'm saying? The usual. So, yeah, everybody pretty happy right now. But we know it ain't over. So I'm trying to tell everybody, don't get too happy. Like, just one win, that ain't really what we're here for.
Right, and that was my next question. How do you taper down that excitement that you have as a coach to automatically just try to think past this game? Because I know it's easy to think about, like, okay, after we win this, who we gonna play next? Like, how do you keep that out of your mind and just focus on what's in front of you?
Shit, I don't. I mean, after the win, I'm like, hey, celebrate this tonight. While they celebrate, I'm already on to the next. As soon as that clock ended, I start looking at it. I already watched their last 3 games. Our game was over a couple hours ago. So the grind never stops. Like, it ain't no time to celebrate in this league. Everybody is too good, especially a team like Vancouver. They only lost 1 game. So, and it actually worked out. I was telling my team this, like, this is my last week in my current job and I'm switching jobs. So it's my last week. I'm gonna be a horrible employee this week. Fuck the job. I'm gonna be doing SFL all week. I already watched 3 games. What they gonna do? Fire me? Fuck them. Shit, SFL is my job. Don't give a damn. But yeah, ain't no time off. You don't have time to slack off in this league and enjoy a win. Because if you celebrate too long, you ain't gonna have another one. You're gonna catch a
Well said. Well said.
He's
Moving
got a
on.
point though.
Yeah,
He's
go ahead,
got,
Ramos.
right quick. He's got a point though. I was, and I had my brothers coming over actually. We were playing, PlayStation. We were playing whatever, and I opened the PlayStation 3 emulator. We were playing, Fight Night, and we were playing whatever kind of games. And I get a message from Destro, from DC, and he's like, "Hey, I see that you're grinding already, right? Just like me." And I'm like, no, actually, no, I'm not grinding, but I will be doing that in about 3 or 4 hours time because the grind never stops. He's already simming for next season, and so will I in just a couple hours. So it just never stops.
That's what it takes.
Yep.
You can't stop because everybody's getting better. Every team is figuring out the legend settings, and the team builds are starting to gel together, and you can finally see that light at the end of the tunnel. So it's gonna be dope. But Dion, you're still in it, and Bo, you're still in it. So it's gonna be two different perspectives for this next question we're gonna be asking. To Mike and Ramos, who do you think, or who do you think will make it past this next round of the playoffs, and why? And to Bo and to Dion, who are you looking forward, or is there a particular team that you're looking forward to playing in the playoffs more so than others? And I think that's where I want to start with that. So I think I'll start with you first, Mike.
Well, before I go into that, I just want to quick say, Dion, Jaden has done a great job for you guys this season. I just want to give him a quick shout out.
Definitely.
He definitely did a great job on your defense. But as far as who I think is going to push on, well, of course I got to support my boy over there in LSG. I got to say LSG is going to push on past this next round.
Okay.
I feel like Vancouver is definitely going to carry on. It's kind of been the Andy season this season, the way it worked out. It's hard to argue against Baltimore, but they did drop 2 now. They dropped 2, so there is a hole there. There's a hole that could be pushed through. Honestly, I feel like it might. Depending on how things play out, it might be LSG and Baltimore playing for the championship. But I got to support my boy Bo over there. That's my guy. I got to support him.
All right, cool. Ramos, what you think?
For the first game, obviously we have Vancouver and Tulsa. If Tulsa plays like they did against DC, I think they have what it takes. It's hard to beat the Legion at home, in Vancouver. It's very hard to do that. Not impossible, but it's tough. It's tough, especially when they can go for the deep shot at any point in the game, and they can get some cheap touchdowns. Defensively, they're very good taking the football over. If you make me choose, probably Vancouver by 3 points, and probably that's gonna be another X. That okay. Dion's gonna collect, but who knows? It's kind of hard. I expect the Jack's data to be like right there, like 2.5. Probably Vancouver because they're at home, but 2.5, and the over under like at 68 because it's gonna be a shootout, I think. Lone Star Sioux Falls, man. Look, it's not me hating because Lone Star is our division. Maybe I will go Sioux Falls because they lead the league in turnover margin. They can take the football away like nobody else in the SFL has ever done because they have their SFL record.
Okay.
And they did it today as well. So I'll probably go Sioux Falls also by a small margin. I do like Charleston over Louisiana, actually. I think Charleston is defensively a really, really tough team to run against. So Louisiana does have that dual threat at running back, but I think Charleston matches up well against the Revolution. And look, for Baltimore, London, not only has Baltimore dropped 2, as of late, but last season, London gave Baltimore their only loss. So, in the regular season, I mean. Well, actually, overall. So, I will not be shocked if London wins it, but I think in the playoffs, Baltimore will eke him out by a touchdown.
All right. Good stuff. What about you, Dion? Bro, I saw you. Wait, you number 4. You can wait.
Oh yeah, for anybody curious, my name say Jeff Hawkins. Dion is my real name. It's my middle name though. So is everybody like, who the hell is Jeff? Like, we one in the same. I know he's on Zoom. It's on my work computer. So,
No.
I'm interested to see Baltimore, see how they progress into the playoffs. They had a great season, so I want to see, especially with London, how they throw the ball so much. I want to see how Baltimore's secondary is going to hold up for them, and so that's going to be a really good matchup. I can't wait to see that one. Louisiana, they're a division rival, so I'm actually hoping that we see them again. We done already beat them twice, so they're going to have to come see Daddy if that ever happens. So. And then of course us. I mean, we're going against Vancouver, so they the number one team in the league for a reason. Like, so this is the ultimate test. Like, a lot of people didn't expect us to be here, so this is gonna be the game. Like, was it a fluke? Did we just get lucky? You know what I'm saying? Or are we able to tackle the giant, David versus Goliath type situation? So, but all the teams are still in it. Like, they're all great teams. I would love to play against Lone Star personally. I don't think we've ever played them ever. Like Tulsa versus Lone Star. We may have. I could be mistaken, but I don't think we've ever played them. So that'll be a good matchup if they make it past Sioux Falls. So I'm just interested. I'm actually salty because I told Ken, I was like, don't schedule us for no Saturday games because now I'm in my football season. So I'm actually missed the game. I'm gonna probably be in a game and have my cell phone on the sideline checking the score and stuff. So I'm kind of salty about that. But yeah, I'm just interested to see the playoffs overall. Some great teams left.
You got your Bluetooth in your ear. You can hear the plays while you're on the field. You know,
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, they're gonna be mad because I'm definitely gonna be tuned in.
I hear that. All right, number 4, LSG. What you got?
That's 2 for us, 44.
Ah, jeez. Always.
All right, so what you want to know, Ashley? You want to know my picks?
I want to know what your thoughts on the playoffs are. You know, like how
All right,
far you think Lone Star gonna go. What do you think? Even your thoughts on the prospective panels. They're what they were thinking.
All right, so as far as the playoffs so far, I think it's been nothing short of amazing. Everybody has played a relatively good game. You know, as far as the winners of the games, if you look at the seeding, the only seeding, the high seed that didn't lose was Tulsa. So all the other home teams did win their games, and so, you know, hopefully that bodes well for us going into next week. You know, as we host a vicious Sioux Falls team coming in. I talked about them on your show last week. Sioux Falls is not to be messed with. I will say this: Ramos is a hater because he did want us to lose. But
I'm not a hater.
I wouldn't expect anything less, Ramos. I'm not even mad at that. You know, division rival. I get it. But you know, especially after we took the division from you, so I'm not even mad about.
There you go.
I can respect that because I probably would want y'all to lose. You know, if the role was reversed. So I get it. But you know, as far as everybody this week, I think all the games were amazing. My boy Mike fought with all his heart. Jacksonville tried to make it close at the end, just couldn't pull it out. London showed up huge. London looks like a problem. I mean, for a 7 seed, they look like a problem. I said it last week. I said there's 2 teams that I didn't want to see. One was DC. Thanks for that, Dion. I appreciate you. The other one was London, and I stand by that. They look of the teams that played this week, they look like a problem. So I'm hoping that Baltimore can go ahead and take care of them next week for us. And I will say this. Actually, wait, am I saying that right? London plays Baltimore, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got that right. So here's, as far as my picks next week, I'll say this. London is a problem, but I'm hoping that Baltimore can handle them, only because, you know, I've been accused of being a little bit modest, right? When I see you you're with the people's eyebrow there, Ashley. But you know, when it comes to speaking about my team, at least I've been accused of being a little bit modest. You know, Eddie said he didn't like how I said I was happy with the fact that, like I said, that we had already won because we had exceeded everybody's expectations. Eddie said he didn't like that. So he said that I was being immodest. I was being too modest, and I'm supposed to say, no, I'm not happy and I want it all, right? So let me, in my Barack Obama voice, let me be clear, all right? I do want it all right? So, and not only do I want it all, to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? So I'm hoping, I'm hoping to play our way to a championship between us and Vancouver, because to be the best, you got to beat the best. So Vancouver was ranked number 1. They had the best record in the SFL, which according to record makes them the best. So, that's our path to the champion. We had a path, and that path was messed up today because Tulsa did what they were supposed to do. Our path, what we wanted to do is we wanted to knock off every team that beat us in the regular season. That was our path. And the teams that beat us were Mexico City, Baltimore, Vancouver, and DC. So our goal was, we took care of Mexico to win the division. So we took care of them already. So our goal was to knock off DC next. But I guess all that matters is they out of here. So again, good looking. But now we wanted to play Baltimore and then Vancouver because we wanted to go and beat everybody. So we won't get that opportunity. However, I think our path would be to beat the best. That would be what we want ideally. However, ranking the next 4 games, Tulsa. Let's start with our game. Sioux Falls at LSG. Come on, I gotta go LSG. I would go LSG even if I wasn't with LSG. I feel like we've got the better quarterback play. We've got the better. I know they've got a beast of a running back in Wells, but he's no truck stick, right? So let's just keep it real. Ike is a special breed. So ironically enough, and I'll keep it real, the one area in which they might have the edge is their cornerbacks. And I say that because, and I'm a cornerback, and I'll say that knowing that I'm a cornerback, right? But they've got, like I said, I'm ranked number 5 in the SFL. Two of the cornerbacks above me play for Sioux Falls. So just keeping it real, I understand it's going to be a tough game, but I think our quarterback is going to pull it out, and I think our defense is going to really. I think unless they're really prepared for what Ike can do, they're in trouble. All right, and then I got Charleston over Louisiana, and I say that only because consistently this season, Louisiana has struggled to score points. Their defense is stupid. It's absolutely amazing. But they've struggled to score points, and I think Charleston's going to just be a little bit too much to handle. And so I got Charleston. And then London versus Baltimore. That's going to be an ugly game and pretty all at the same time. So I think I'm going to go. I'll come back to that one. Tulsa versus Vancouver. Gosh, maybe I should go back to London. No. All right, for real. Tulsa versus Vancouver. I think Vancouver's going to take this. What? Change that. Change that. Okay. I'm going, and here's why. I legit was, as you saw, I was about to say Vancouver, but here's why, and it's not just because Dion is on here. I saw something so special out of that defense today, right? And I know the type of game that Vancouver plays. And and I'm not trying to influence anybody's playbooks, but if Vancouver tries to play their game, Tulsa's going to get in them. Because that defense I saw today, they're ready for that kind of play. They're ready for the way that Vancouver plays. So if they try to go at them with that same type of play that they normally do, then it's going to be Tulsa. So I don't know if Vancouver's going to switch it up. Maybe they throw a wrench in the plan, but I know how Andy typically works. Andy's like, listen, I'm going to do what I got to do. You try to stop me. That's the way Andy typically works. And so if he does that, I think Tulsa's going to take it. Back to London and Baltimore. I'm gonna go be more. Baltimore. That's in my Forrest Gump. That's all I had to say about that.
Listen, that's what you chose. You know, when I asked you that question, who's going to be the season 18 championship winners? You know, saying more than likely if it wasn't LSG, it was going to be Baltimore. Right. So
right, and you know what? And I kind of gotta pick Baltimore because I'm still hoping that we at least get to beat Vancouver or Baltimore. And so if I just pick Tulsa to take out Vancouver, then that means we got to beat Baltimore in the championship.
Good stuff, gentlemen. Good stuff. Before I let you go, though, I just want your opinions on some different things that have happened in the league. From us inquiring ESTV to Rare Drop to 98 rookies joining the league, you know, to the start of the SFLm season. Pick whatever item you would like to talk about and just give me your opinion about it. And let's go with Ramos first.
I've really liked reading those ads on the broadcasts. It's been fun. Yeah, so many things going on. Anything you want? Anything going on? Expansion then. 4 new teams coming into season 19. It's been difficult, and Dion knows this. It's been difficult for us to, evaluate those squads, doing their bids. We saw really, really good bids. We talked to these prospective owners. We spent hours upon hours, talking with them and just picking their brain. They pick ours, and I think that whatever 4 teams are chosen, I think they're gonna be great for the SFL. We had some great conversations, and I think the SFL is gonna have 4 very, very strong teams next season.
So, y'all had your work cut out, y'all. I know.
Yeah, it's fun when we have expansion. It's fun to see the new identities. It's fun to talk to people. It's fun to see their ideas, and it's gonna be fun to see them. We don't know the results, of course, but it's gonna be fun to see them get revealed during the championship game. And to whoever gets chosen, best of luck. Work very hard because it's difficult. Even for teams like us who's been in the league for like 15 years, 15 seasons. It's just. It never stops. It doesn't get any easier.
Good stuff, Ramos. So Dion, what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to that with the expansion, and it's being an owner. That's my number one thing is I hate. I love the draft. That's my favorite thing to do, but the rest of the off season, I hate it. It's so stressful. Like the candidates for ownership, it's great candidates, but as we know, SFL, we're a family, but we don't always get along. Owners is arguing, people trying to tell you what you should think this or what you should think that. So I pretty much stay out of it. I add my 2 cents, say what I have to say, and then I'll be up out of there and I'm ready for the vote like a couple of days. It was actually, this off season was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, for the simple fact that a lot of people that I figured would apply for teams didn't, for whatever reason. And I think that, and this is just my working theory, is that it's so much that when I first started in the SFL, it was easy. Get people on your team, 10, 11, 12 players, put in your playbook, be done with it. But now you got social media, stats, scouting, business aspect of it. Literally, one person can't do it. So I think we actually missed out on a couple of probably overqualified owners just because of the simple fact that they're so vested into the teams that they're with now that they either chose not to put in their ownership bids because they're so. Perfect example, Berto Demora, my president GM, that he should have been an owner. He put in a bid initially the last time, but he's so invested in Tulsa that he decided, I don't even want it. I'm a Tulsa all the way. So it's candidates like Tom Pepper, for example. I'm sure he'll be a great owner, but he didn't even put one in. So
I thought he was. I thought I thought he and Ashley was gonna do that.
Unless I missed it, I thought he was too, but I don't think I saw it. I don't think I saw him on any of the ballots. So, but I'm just saying, like, it's people out there that you thought it would have made the decision a lot harder, because it's, instead of 10, I thought we would have had 15, 20 applicants of overqualified people for 4 spots. So it just shows that how big the league is growing and how vested that some of these people become, that they may not even want ownership, where initially that was their goal when they joined the league. So but I mean, the SFL just in a whole is literally every season is something bigger, it's something better. I told my friends when I joined this, I was like, hey, y'all motherfuckers better join this, because one day I ain't gonna have to work no more because of this shit. Now I'm sure I'm like, look, motherfucker, I'm going to the Luxor in Vegas. I told your stupid ass, like, you should have got on the train when I told your ass. But no, I'm excited to see where it leads, and hopefully that true. I quit my job one day and just play on the computer all damn day.
Listen, I feel you. I'd rather do podcasts all day. Trust me. Do my research for everybody and cut highlights and do all of that. Make this thing real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I get that. Mike, what is your take? What do you want to talk about?
You know, I've been vocal about this already in other places, but the ESTV deal is a big deal to me. It's because of the way I found the league. I found it by cutting cable and just flipping through my Samsung TV Plus app, going through and just passing past a football game on TV. I was like, oh, look, football. And I go a couple channels past and I'm wait, that was football, but that didn't look right. So I had to go back and look. I'm like, this is a video game. What the heck is this? And so I had to watch that game and listen to the guys talking and be like, these are real people. This is real people talking. Why are they talking about a football game that's being played by a video game right now? So if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for it being on For the Fans on my Samsung TV Plus app, I wouldn't have found the league. And Next Level Sports is great, and I appreciate their sponsorship for the league, but they're very limited in their scope of who they can reach. Because I don't have cable, and I don't know how many people on the panel here have cable, but I'm just streaming, so I need something that's streaming to find it, and this ESTV deal hits a lot of streaming services, hits a lot of devices that do streaming, and so it's going to bring a lot more eyes to the league, and people like me that are just going to stumble on the league and find it and come and join and help us grow and expand and do better things because of the quality of people that could hopefully find the league. So I'm excited about that.
Dope. I totally agree. You know, the more people we get in, we can get to that 32 team limit, you know, really be, you know, it'll be interesting to see how far the league can go. Like you mentioned, Dion, being in Vegas, being at the Luxor, who thought that we would ever have that opportunity to do something like that? You know, I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
but Bo, there you go. All right, Bo, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm not gonna go off on a tangent like I did on your show, because I'm you know, I can do that. But what I will say is this: I really like the direction that the SFL is taking. What I would like to see is how we can not necessarily. I think we've hit a turning point in how we grow as players. But what I would like to see is I would like to see us grow a fan base. We have a really significant player base. And I think our players are the SFL finally has a very good nucleus of players. However, in order for us to really grow this business, so like Dion says, so he can, you know, so this can be his full-time job. In order for us to do that, we have to grow our fan base. Now, I'm not trying to put in my owner bid, you know, but yet. But I will say that you know, part of what we need to do to grow this business is figure out how to grow our fan base, so that we can have, when we have our games airing, that we can have literally hundreds of people watching the games, so that when we go to these events like the one we're going to in Vegas, so that maybe we can even have fans show up. I would love to see Cam in all of his brilliance figure out a way to grow our fan base so that we're not just a player league, so that we've actually got fans who actually show up and want to watch our games and root for us and maybe even learn more about us as people and how we shape our players, because at the end of the day, all of these players are, if you have the right ownership, your player is going to be customized to who you want it to be. For example, I know, because I know Mike so well, I know that he wanted a speed rusher for a defensive end, and he customized his player to be the exact type of player that he wanted to be. So if we're allowing each other to build our players the way we want them to be built, then they're a representation of ourselves. And so if they're a representation of ourselves, then we can build a fan base, and that fan base can be based on, perhaps, oh, you built your player like I would have built mine if I was in the SFL, or your player is exactly like I was when I played, when I played high school football, or whatever the case may be. And we can build this kinship with these people who would then in turn want to watch us on TV. They would want to watch us in person. Maybe they want to hear what we have to say on blogs or on shows, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm curious to see the direction the league is going to take as far as growing the fan base, so that we're not just a player-based league. And we do have some that are fans already. And to those of you, kudos, come holler at me in SFL. I'll show you a good time. Come holler at me in LSG. But for those who are not yet fans, like Mike said, he stumbled onto it just watching TV. And I would like for us to find a way for people to be okay with being fans. Maybe they don't want to create a player. Maybe they just want something good to watch. And I think with great broadcasters like Ramos and many of the others that are doing a broadcast, they do such a phenomenal job with broadcasting that some people will just tune in, even if they're just paging through, like Mike said, and then they double back, like, wait a minute, that's a video game. Let me check this out. And so hopefully we can figure out a way to grow a fan base. And I think that will change the SFL exponentially and allow for us to reach levels that we have never even imagined.
All right, then. Good stuff, gentlemen. I think 98 fresh faces joining the league. Well, it's actually more than that. We had a lot of fans join too. But we have over 1,500 people in our server and 98 new faces ready to join a team, ready to join, be a part of something so great as this. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing for me being a podcaster, to be involved in the league and having to go back and study certain things, seeing the league grow from that season 1, then to season 3, where you're starting to add the player roles, and then progress from there. The trials and tribulations that I know that Cam went through, shutting the league down for a while, then picking it back up. Been there for him when he explained to me that he didn't know if this was even going to make it, And so I think it's amazing to see how the league has grown. I think it's amazing to see and watch the teams grow, to see the coaching just get excellent over the time I've been here. Because you were challenged, because going to legend mode I think when you were doing it the other ways, it would kind of led to kind of complacency. I know how this is gonna roll. I don't even need to run that many sims. I already know how this pretty much is gonna play out. But with this legend setting, now you have to run the sims. Now you have to challenge yourself. And it's been some great games to watch this season particularly. So shout out to all the coaches, all you do, all the owners for the teams that you put together. Shout out to the entire league. It's just been a pleasure to be a part of. It's been a pleasure to be the community ambassador for a lot of seasons, and I take that role to heart. I love you guys. When I say that, I really do mean that. So, but thanks, guys. Thanks to all of you for hanging out with me, giving me your feedback on these games and all this good stuff. But I can't let you go without giving you all the last words. That can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out to your whomever you like. I'm gonna start with you first, Dion.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shout out the whole Tulsa squad, my front office, Gabe Manning, JQ, Jaden Swift, Berto Demoro, Chris Andrews, It's all the people behind the scenes that don't get a lot of credit. People who run stats and social media, and people don't realize that how many people it takes to make this thing go. Just like podcasters and people who write articles. It's crazy how much people put into this, and I mean, we're not getting paid for this. We're actually paying money, most people. So, well, I guess all of us technically, but yeah. So I'm just excited to be a part of it, and I appreciate everything everybody does. And rock with Tulsa. If you wasn't fucking with us before, hop on the bandwagon now. It's not too late.
Indeed. All right, Bo.
I'm just really having a blast. This is a really good time to be a member of the SFL. There's about to be a lot going on this off season between now and season 19. The SFL is changing. It's constantly evolving. And like you said, we've got over 100 new people coming into the SFL, and it's evolving. And so season 19 isn't going to look anything like season 18. So what I would say to all of those who are, contemplating making a move, changing teams, just enjoy the ride, because at the end of the day, we're having a good time, and just enjoy the ride that is the SFL. So enjoy it.
I was muted. Awesome.
You muted,
all right. I need to get one of those buttons. You muted sis or something.
Yeah.
Ramos, what about you?
Shout out to the SFL as a whole. Shout out to everybody who's made this season as great as it's been. Players, owners, coaches, GMs, broadcasters, community ambassadors, fans, everybody. Shout out to everybody, because they make the league as great as it is. And it takes everybody. We have a group of 24 very competitive teams that can beat anybody on any given sim day, as we say. And I've had a lot of fun watching this season, and here's to many seasons to come.
All right, Ramos. And Mike.
Yeah, I just want to echo some of those sentiments. Yeah, definitely shout out to all those people working behind the scenes. Cam and Rastelli put in a lot of work. The broadcasting team for being the voice of the SFL, for doing all those games and making it so much fun to listen to and watch those games. And I got to see behind the scenes of the stats team in this season, and those people put in a lot of work. They work hard. So thank you to the stats team for all that you guys do. And I was going to give a shout out to Tulsa, but Dion did that already, so he stole my thunder. So I'm just going to shout out Jacksonville, man. Thanks for all you guys did this season, and all the fun that you guys made in the locker room. And I was glad to be a part of it with all of you. So thank you all for that.
Phenomenal, man. And look who just popped in. Kenny Dimes, quarterback for the Charleston Predators. What's up, Kentez?
How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all's nights have been good.
What up?
Well, Kentez, I'm actually just ending things off with these gentlemen. But gentlemen, if you do have time and you want to stick around and listen to what Kentez and I are going to be talking about, especially with the Charleston, please stick around. But I do know that y'all, if you can't, I understand. All right. And thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
You know what time it is, Ashley.
I'm seeing you gonna stay. All right.
It's Modelo time.
What'd you say, Dion?
It's Modelo time.
Oh man. So Kenny, first of all, you got your camera? You can hook up?
No, I don't actually.
Okay. That's no worries.
Yeah.
It's all good. Man, so this is your first time on my show, period. So first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh man. So I'm gonna start off by saying this. It was so different seeing you in Charleston versus me knowing you being over there in Houston. So tell me, what was that transition like? Like,
It was definitely an adjustment for sure. Especially with the game plan, seeing as how Damon ran everything down in Houston. But you know, the team down here in Charleston is much more, I wouldn't say, not dissing Damon or anything. I love Damon, you know. Shout out to him, shout out to the whole Houston organization. But they're much more open to talk about the game plan with the actual like locker room, you know.
Okay.
And you know, shout out to Jacob Clear, you know, for his wonderful game plan today. Or not today, yesterday. Yeah, whatnot. But yeah, man, it was an adjustment for sure.
I bet it was. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened and why you actually had to leave in the first place? Just for people that don't know that story.
Well, it was actually 2 seasons ago. One of our players leaked a contract on Twitter. Leaked my contract on Twitter, a few of ours, and it got voided. And I, at that point, I ultimately decided to just call it quits and retire. But, you know, Jack Brown and Jacob Clear actually hit me up not too long ago. And, you know, seeing as how me and Jacob used to be teammates and when I was like, okay, might as well just give it a shot, you know? And here we are in the playoffs, so.
Indeed. So tell me about that journey to the playoffs. What did you think about your team's season so far, up to this point?
We were fighting an uphill battle all season. Most definitely. You know, a lot of miscommunications. But you know, ultimately we got the job done. You know, right now we're just trying to make it to a championship and whatnot. So
understood. What is your overall vibe in the locker room like right now?
Oh, I love the guys, man. I love them. Especially Jack, you know, big boss man over there. You know, he keeps it active every day. So you gotta love it.
I bet. So, how go through that game, like the game that you just played. Go through your feelings. What was going through your mind at that point, like from a player standpoint, especially from a quarterback standpoint?
And well, seeing as how it was an offensive game, no, for sure. It was an offensive game. However, our defense did step it up a lot. We had like 5 or 6 interceptions from our secondary. Special shout out to them. You know, John Stamango, Josh Reese as well. You know, they play their absolute hearts out. Once again, it was excellent execution from our coaching staff. Excellent execution on the field. You know, overall, just a well put together game plan. So.
Indeed. Hey, Ramos, since you're still here, did you have a question for Kentez?
No questions. The reason why I decided to stay here is to congratulate Kentez here in this meeting. Congratulations to you. It's not easy. Jump straight in from the couch and lead a team to a playoff win. You played great. You know, you definitely got us, man. You know, you hit your receivers deep a couple times. You got a deep touchdown to was it Buchanan Simons, I think, early in the game. Yeah, it was him. And Keith Swearingen was getting going. So hey, just congratulations to you, buddy. It was a very well played game. We did our best, but we came up short.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It was a very good game to watch. Very entertaining shootout.
Oh yeah, it was.
Indeed. So, Kentez, what made you come back? What made you come back to the league?
Man, first and foremost, I just missed the action. You know, especially the commentary, man. You know, the commentary really gets me pumped up there. You know, and I was really just like sitting at home, and I was actually talking to BJ. You know, he was talking to me about Queen City and whatnot. And I was like, man, miss the old days. So I was like, why not? Why not? Especially since Charleston had a spot opening up. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you pulled that trigger, you joined Charleston, led your team to the playoffs. Is there a particular team that you're looking forward to playing, or what are your thoughts about this next game that's coming up, I should say?
Man, well, Louisiana is no slouches. They're no slouches at all. And what's really going through my head right now is just, still connecting with my receivers. I'm going to try and help clear on the game plan this week. But yeah, ultimately, the goal at the end of everybody's season is to get to that championship. So that's what we're working towards right now.
So Kenny, what is your overall thoughts about the good things that have happened in the league since you've been back? I mean, from the ESTV deals that we had, rare drop deals, to 98 rookies joining the league. Were you around to see to know the SFLm minor leagues that started and everything?
I was here I think a season or two into it. Okay. And it's wonderful, man. Just seeing the league expand, seeing the league grow from what it once was when I was a rookie. It's just wonderful seeing it, I'm very, very happy for Cam. Very proud of him too. He's very determined. He's a very good guy. And I really think he deserves everything that's going towards him right now. So, yeah, congratulations to him, man.
Indeed. Well, Kenny, man, what is your future like with the SFL? Do you want to aspire to be more than just a player? Do you want to be maybe take on more responsibility? Do you want to explore broadcasting or stats team or anything like that?
Well, right now, I don't know what the future holds right now, but I'm just gonna say this: I definitely have a few plans in mind that I want to execute later down the line. So I'll just leave it at that. Don't want to spoil the surprise too early.
All right. Well, if it's something you want to share, you want to get it off the chest, you can always come to say special right here for you. But I remember this meme that Harish did of you where you were laid out.
Oh
Simba.
God.
Bro,
yeah.
I'm sorry. That was hilarious. If I can find that picture, I'm gonna have to do it. But I just want to say, before I close with you, that it kind of broke. It broke my heart when you guys left. When you and Warren Murray had to go. Because I enjoyed seeing you guys play. I enjoyed, seeing, you guys in the chat and how you would always. You particularly were always just, it seemed like in every conversation, you were the representative, for Houston, and it did break my heart to see that you left. But just want to let you know I'm glad you're back, man. I'm glad to see you guys back, and wish you the best going forward. I really do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Is there anything that you wanted to anything else that you wanted to discuss before I let you go? You got shout outs you want to give? Maybe you want to sing a song or recite a poem for us good people?
Well, no poems today, but special shout out to Charleston, shout out Jack, shout out Jacob, shout out Robert Cherry, future defensive rookie of the year. Yeah, but that's about it. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Man, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. And again, good luck. All right, everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my Wildcard and Playoff interviews. As you know, I've been interviewing some of the teams, well, pretty much all of the teams that participated this past Saturday. And here are 2 more players. I have Mr. Mike St.Green from London Knights and Mr. J.W. Doyle from the Florida Storm. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great, Ashley. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why I hadn't been on all season, but I'm happy to be here now.
Doing well.
Okay, first of all, the phone works two ways. And for both of you, because both of you have been on the show, but it has been quite some time since you both came back on. It works. And I tell you guys all the time, you want to be on, let me know.
You've had 3 different hairstyles since I was on there last time.
You're right, though. You're right, but I had to wear the one that you prefer the best, which is,
I actually wanted to see the other one when I recognized you. I'm like, who is this lady? I wanted to see that one today, but I'm good.
We got to coordinate. We got to coordinate this, Next time, let me know.
Right. Well, we're both wearing black, so that works.
There you go. And then Doyle, his camera not on, so he's all black right now. So hey, we all mesh.
Right. Yeah. We're working.
All right, man. So welcome to the show, gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm really glad to have you on. And I thought it was an interesting concept to be able to have. Sometimes you just deal with the winners, but you don't deal with the other side of it. So I think it's very important for you to deal with both sides, because first of all, for you to make it to the playoffs, you did your thing. For you to have that spot, everybody else won it. You see us, we sitting over there chilling, watching y'all play. Mm-hmm. So it was kudos to all of you for the efforts that you did. And like Doyle, I know that score didn't end up the way you wanted it to, man. But y'all put on a hell of a performance all season. Y'all been doing your thing, under the tutelage of Mighty. He's, helping Art, and Jacen get everything together over there. So y'all had a phenomenal year. But I want to start off with you first, Doyle. What did you think about your season?
I think it was fine. I think having the half version of the Buffalo 90s was a wild ride. So this season was very similar to 3 seasons ago, where we kind of struggled in our terms through the season, and then I thought that we were gonna be our first round opponent, but I knew we were gonna get smacked by the time we made it to the second or third round. Just because there's the Florida Storm, and then there's it's the Florida Storm. We either have that all gas no break season, or we have that there's a few hiccups. We need to fix some things, and I think losing Eric Hammer definitely definitely hurt the overall team. Having to put a safety down to linebacker, using him or developing him throughout the season, it definitely hurt the overall team. We also had some other guys that just needed to progress a little bit more. We also missed some progressions at times, but I don't think we ever lost a game due to that. I don't think every time we lost a game, we had 100% progression beforehand. Now, for next season, I think we're in a perfect spot. I think the fact that we can progress in the off season now means that we can fix some of the patches that we didn't really fix throughout the season, because we thought we were going to be competing for a championship. Currently, we were going to get all high value stuff, and now we're going to get attribute points, little patches that will be well worth it down the road. For the future season, I will be with the Florida Storm. A lot of people were asking me are you going to be with expansion or something like that, and I was like, I haven't had anyone hit me up. Now that I've seen the expansions come about, there's a few teams that I think I'd be okay working with people there, but they already had plenty of people working with them. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm gonna get back to you when you say the Florida Storm versus Florida Storm. You're gonna have to clarify that. I think I know what you mean, okay, but I just want to know. Mike, totally different outcome for you guys. Victorious over the Jacksonville Kings, otherwise known as the Tallahassee Pride. Normally, they are the ones that are deep into the playoffs. Last 4, final 2. You guys turned it around over there in London. You have been known as the underdogs for a long time. So tell me, what does your season look like to you this season?
Well, obviously the season is not done. It got off to a very rocky start, 0-3. But in those 3 games, the only game that we were really out of was the first game against Baltimore. So, and obviously we're meeting them again this weekend in the playoffs. The team added some additions in the offseason. To go along with great free agent class we had the season before. And the thing is, this team has been very intentional in their goals and what they wanted to do for the past couple seasons. And you mentioned about being in the playoffs, still here, and some people aren't. I do want to say that it's an honor to be in the playoffs. And I had the privilege of being in the playoffs all 4 seasons of my SFL career, 2 with Jacksonville and now 2 with London. So it's a great honor to be in the playoffs and still in the playoffs still. Because it's not something that you want to take for granted, because it's a lot of great players in this league that are not in the playoffs this season, and some have probably never seen the playoffs, but some great players out here that hasn't had this privilege of being here. So it's definitely not taken for granted still being here. The underdog tag, I think it should be taken off of London at this point. We're having a very solid season. Like I said, after the 0-3 start, now we're 8-2. In our last 10 games, I think right now we're playing the best football that I've seen us play since I've been a part of the London Knights, and I think we still have some more things to do and more things to accomplish.
All right, well said. So, gentlemen, what is the overall vibe in both of your respective locker rooms right now?
General disappointment. Honestly, I think a lot of us thought that Sioux Falls would be a good opponent, but I thought that we would beat them. And I think a lot of us kind of, I said it on the playoff show in the comment section, but we haven't won a game on the road in the playoffs since winning the championship of that final three-peat. Notable games being Seattle on the road, Denver on the road, Denver on the road again in the championship, and then Baltimore on the road, and then now Sioux Falls on the road. So that will next season we're gonna develop a team that is better beyond home field advantage or whatever you want to call it. But we're gonna build a team that can take on any opponent no matter what tries to be thrown at us. So.
Okay, gotcha. Mike,
extremely positive, extremely excited. Man, it brings a smile to my face because it's a bunch of great guys in that locker room. JT Delaney, the kicker over there, he's a great guy in the locker room. Fox Highwind, he was also another free agent. So that's the thing. We had some great free agent pickups this offseason that came in and added to what we've already done the season before, man, and it's really paying off dividends. Tiberius Bovine, he's a great locker room guy. Just a positive vibe, positive atmosphere, man. Everybody's excited about where we are and where we want to go. And sky's the limit right now in London, and I feel like we're playing well. And man, everybody's excited to see what we're going to be able to accomplish against Baltimore this weekend.
Indeed. Now, Doyle, back to you as far as the difference between the Florida Storm and Florida Storm.
So, obviously, in the previous years, especially before I became GM, Alaska at the time was not a team that anyone wanted to play. And I feel like after that first year that I was here and we had that bad game against NOLA to start the season, I have no idea why I remember all this, but anyways, I had a fumble against New Orleans, and from that point forward, that entire season, it was like, oh, Florida's last step, and it was all the way up until we faced Lone Star the next season. And I remember Dave still talks about whenever I talk to him, but I pumped the ball after a touchdown and they caught it on the stream. And Dave joked about like that was going to pump life into the season. We went on like a 7-game winning streak. And that was like our rough season, but that's what led to the future seasons of dominance and our past 2 seasons of making the championship. And I think like we're retaining that moniker, but we're having a few faults. Like I said before, losing Hammer was a big thorn in the side, and we'll recover from it. But it definitely it was something that in the middle of the season we were like, we don't have another person in the middle. Like we have Stephen Black, who's fine, and he's going to be a great player, but currently I don't think he's reached that level yet. And next season I want to see him break out and become that MVP caliber linebacker. So.
Okay. Mike, what was the most difficult part of the London Knights journey this season, you think? And that can be from any aspect. That could be from coaching. What do you think that you guys had to overcome to be able to make it to this point?
Mainly that 3-game losing streak to start the season. It was getting kind of desperate around the locker room, feeling like, we're going to let a great opportunity for as the players and player, probably go to waste this season if we lost any more games at that particular time. So the 3-game losing streak was the hardest part, because a couple of those games we were right there, that we had an opportunity to win. I won't say should have won, but we definitely had an opportunity to win. If we would have converted a first down against Lone Star early in the season, we would have been able to kneel that game out and win it. But instead we threw an interception, and they came back and scored late to win that game. Something similar happened with Mexico City, where they end up scoring late and they end up beating us by 8. So the difficult part was just that start, because after going 6-6 last season, making the playoffs for the first time, we were extremely optimistic coming in. We knew it was going to be a tough schedule to start the season with Baltimore, Lone Star, and Fort Worth, and teams of that sort. So we knew it was going to be tough. So getting off to that slow start really put us behind the 8 ball. And then once we were able to come back even and get that behind us, I mean, things were starting to click, and man, I'm extremely confident, right? I don't want to sound overconfident or confident or bragging or anything, but I'm just extremely confident in what and how we've looked the past 3 or 4 weeks, and really clicking on all cylinders, and we're going up against the defending champs, so you can't say, well, we're gonna just for sure beat these guys, but I'll put this team up against them at any other time in the season, the way we're clicking right now. So that's what the playoffs are for, and we'll find out on Sunday.
Tell you what, I did notice a difference. You coming in here, you ain't had your theme music coming on, and you ain't had shades on. And I was expecting that, boy. I was expecting to turn my headset down because it's gonna be loud, all of it.
Well, we'll do that next season. We'll do that next season, and we could possibly talk about that if you want.
Got it. All right, so gentlemen, forecast for the rest of the playoffs. Doyle, since me and you sitting on the couch together, brother, eating popcorn, watching everybody else, who do you want to see? Who do you think is going to go further? Who do you think is ultimately going to take the championship? And for you, Mike, who are you looking for? Is there a team that you win this weekend, right? Is there someone that you would look forward to playing? London would be look forward to playing versus anyone else? Or what are your thoughts on these next games that are coming up as well? But I can start with you first.
America's team, the Tulsa Desperados, are going to make it all the way to the championship. And MVP Douglas Brown is going to rush for like 250 yards with 50 receiving and 3 total touchdowns to lead Dion to his first championship and his first season making the playoffs. That's
I'm
like
sure he's loving that. You know, he's on the show too. I'm sure he's gonna love
that's like
that.
the good ending.
That's a good ending. Okay. All right. So what else do you want to add to that? Anything else? You just think that Tulsa just gonna run away with the whole thing?
I don't know. London would be nice, but a certain dude that throws the football for London would be unbearable for a few months. So, and there's a few other people around the league that would be like that if they won the championship. Like I would be unbearable if I won the championship, but I think Tulsa would be my pick if I wanted to pick anyone to win. But honestly, like if TJ wins another one, sure. If like I don't think there's anyone that I would publicly state I don't want them to win or anything. Like I just want to see some good football. I'd rather not see like what happened last semifinal was perfect. Like the Ramos is gonna hate this, but when Baltimore and Mexico City, like when that came down to a onside kick, I was in Home Depot shopping freezers at the time, and I just like sat down and started watching like the moment that onside kick came, because I was like, oh my god, because at the time it was like a 10-point game, 11-point game, like it was like everyone thought it was over, and then it was like, oh, a touchdown and an onside kick, and we're in this. Because I was about to turn the phone off. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this onside kick, and it's gonna fail, and I'm gonna, and then and then I forgot exactly what happened in our game, but I just remember it being tighter. But yeah, like if we get that again, that's great, because then you ride that into the SFLm. The SFLm probably gonna have a great season again. We come back stronger than ever.
Gotcha. What about you, Mike? What are
Oh
your
wait,
thoughts?
pause.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Pause. Yeah. Sorry, I might get killed by Jack Brown if I don't say this. Charleston would also be a good pick to win the championship, because you know I've known Jack for a long time. I've known several of those guys for a long time. Love those guys. I've literally won championships with Jack before in other leagues. Great guy. Love everybody in the organization. It would be I've heard from a few of those guys that they might be on the verge of retiring. So a few of those guys I really like, and if they can end it like on a championship, that'd be a great thing.
Indeed. Go out with a bang. Love it, man. What about you, Mike?
As far as, you know, who would I like to play? I mean, we can't look past anybody right now. And obviously you can't look past the defending champions. And as far as a future matchup, we're in the bracket right now. We would face the winner of Charleston and Louisiana. Either matchup would be a challenge within itself. And, you know, Louisiana with a great defense, they would be tough to go up against. In Charleston, I mean, they've been playing great all around. You know, Kentez Johnson has been great over the past couple of weeks. And, you know, Swearingen would be tough. So, you know, no preference there. You know, we got a lot of work to do, and our work cut out for us this weekend against Baltimore and Manning. But the thing is, overall, of the 8 teams remaining, only one team that's left has won a championship before, and that's Baltimore. So, and only 2 of the teams remaining, have even played in the championship game. So, what's 3 teams, if you include when Lone Star was still in Seattle. So, it's going to be some fresh faces, possibly, with opportunity to win a championship, as Doyle just mentioned. You know, you got Tulsa, who's playing great. Charleston, I mean, they look fantastic this weekend. Louisiana's looked great and solid all season long. I've been, you know, touting these guys as a playoff team until obviously they became a playoff team. I've been saying this for a long time this season. These guys look for like a playoff team to me way back in like week 3 or 4. I mean, they've looked that good. good. And I'm drawing a blank on who Sioux Falls is playing in the playoffs. Lone Star, Lone Star. They're always solid. These guys are tough to stop offensively. They like to throw deep to Soto and Axis, and they get Ike McBride involved. And those guys are tough. So man, it's anybody's ball game this season. So now we just got to take care of our business this weekend, and we'll worry about what comes after that. If the time comes.
Indeed.
Can I add a bit to that?
Yes, please.
So one of the things that I noticed a few hours ago, and I was trying to prep for this, which I barely did because I was doing calculus work, but if you look at the way the bracket's currently set up, especially since we don't reseed, this is the bracket. So if Charleston were to win, I think they want to play London, but if Louisiana were to win, I think they would want to play Baltimore just because of the way those teams are set up. I think Louisiana could do more with their offense against Baltimore than they could against London, and definitely London could do more against their offense against Louisiana. So I think there's a lot of different matchups that you could see there.
Yeah.
So it's if Baltimore wins, but then they face Charleston, then that's a more head-on-head, and I think Baltimore would end up winning that. If Charleston were to face London, then there's and you can see in the north, I want to say the north, the top part of the bracket as well. If Tulsa wins and Sioux Falls wins, that's going to be a combined rushing total of 500 or 600. But if it's Lone Star and Tulsa, it would be a lower scoring game. And I think that's a pretty good matchup. But then if Vancouver wins, they would definitely want to play Sioux Falls because I think Vancouver's defense can dominate Sioux Falls. And it's not like Lone Star where the defense is a worry, because I think Lone Star's defense could do a little at least against Vancouver, slow them down, which is basically what you have to do against Vancouver. You just slow them down enough where they're not scoring 40 when they're only scoring 30 or 25. So
I totally agree. Great stuff. Great breakdown. And when you do slow down, change the momentum.
And I'll say this real quick. You don't know how tough it is to be a pre-game and studio analyst when your team is actually playing in a game, and particularly a playoff game. That's not the easiest emotional thing to have to go through. That's not easy, especially then if you go back last season when I had to comment on a game when we were down 31-0 at half. That was not fun. But anyway, I just thought I'd add that.
I bet it's not. Can you imagine if you had to wind up calling your own game? Which that never happens. But
I told Cam it was a whole lot more pleasant doing the stuff for the game that followed ours, being that we had won. So yeah, it's a nerve-wracking task, and then to kind of sound non-biased, that's just tough
right?
at times.
Exactly. I know that's difficult, but y'all do a good job. Most of you. Some of you do let it slip a little bit, and they know who I'm talking about. You let it slip. But kind of wrapping things up, gentlemen, where do you see your future in the SFL? Do you want to do more with the SFL? Do you want to maybe, Doyle, get into some broadcasting or things like that? Maybe do something, maybe, become a owner one day. Mike, same question. What are y'all plans?
So with all this ownership stuff, I've been asked if I want to be an owner, and I'm like, here's the thing. I will be the GM for it. It's free. I'll make your brand because I'm good at it, and I'll make your uniforms because I'm good at it. But the actually owning the team and stuff, I don't know if I would put the cash in for that, being a college student, being 19, whatever. But if, cause I remember everybody there's plenty of reasons to dislike Zachary Turner, right? However, Zachary Turner came to me and two other expansion hopefuls a year ago and was willing to put a large amount of money down with this bid. That was probably going to be a really good bid. Now, if you know the SFL 2 years ago, you can probably know which bid this is, but I won't say which bid. And if I had someone like him that could just basically be the front, or how we have I'm not sure exactly what Angus does in London, but he's still the owner, right, Mike? Like partial owner, half owner?
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
You're muted, bro. But yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but I'm saying like if I could get someone that just wants to own and just be on the side, from what I see, I think Angus is on the side, but like, and then I can do all the dirty work. That's fine. But it's like the actually putting the money down and stuff. I don't know. I would have to be blessed with a large digital job. But when it comes to like, so I've done SFL Crunch Time, not a lot recently because like it's not needed that much work. It needed a lot of work in the beginning of it, but now it's like pretty much smooth sailing. Whoever's running it, and I'm pretty cool with like the analysis stuff, but live broadcasting I've tried in several leagues, and it's okay. Like I'm solid at it, but it's like almost what Mike said. If you're on the team, which I had to do several times, even like some of the smaller leagues, when you're on the team and you're having to be biased, it's difficult. But like one of the things I always thought, and I tried to convince this one league, was like, just don't care who broadcast it, and then have like some quote unquote like hometown calls, and especially like with teams getting their own graphic design department and stuff, and like this could be a rollout like per team. Like I know Vancouver already has the people in place, so they could literally make a graphic thing, make like their own slides and stuff, and like literally have it almost like the Vancouver Broadcasting Network or whatever for their game. And because like what they got Andy, they got Percoco, they got like at least 5 different guys that could all work with that. And it's like you could see other like all these different things, whether it be graphics and stuff like that, and they could definitely push for something like that rather than be like, oh, your game's on, you can't broadcast that or you can't commentate that. I know previously in the league, some old head would have to like some guy from like S5 would have to talk to me about this, but I remember at some point they actually talked about how the games were like I don't think they're pre-recorded anymore. One point they were from my SFL history.
They were.
And you like they had like 3 or 4 people that got like banned because they referenced the game, and one was like almost unintentional from what I know. Like it was like they were talking about it and they were like, oh yeah, that game was and it was like and then it happened that game hadn't happened yet, and they were like, oh well. But yeah, like and I guess like it kind of worked back then and it could work now, but I think there's just way too many things that could happen now for it to be viable. So I think the live broadcasts are more viable, even if Cam's Xbox decides to blow up every now and then.
You know what? That actually brought back some memories. I think that maybe one time I should have a show with a bunch of old heads, people, you know, from way back in the day, to actually give people the vibe of what it was like back then, because now it's a completely different league, as you were referring to, versus back then, just S5, S3, you know? We didn't have half the people, so.
Yeah, even like an S11, like that was it was a whole different vibe, because I remember because what, Ashley, were you 12 or 13? 12. 12, okay. Because like, when season 12 came around, the financial aspect of the league kind of changed. And then going into 13, that was when, I think, was it 13 or 14 that Seattle came out? But anyways, the same year that Seattle went out was the year that like 20 or 30 people who were all like extremely active all went out. And like if you look at that point, from that point to now, the league is like only 20 or 30% probably the people from before that. And like a lot of those people still remember that, but then like the new people, it's like I try to reference something and they either don't remember it or like they weren't there. And I remember I had to explain to the Annapolis people last season, because with Albuquerque in season 1 and 2 of SFLm, we were all that old, so like we could all tell people. But it was like Albuquerque last year had, or not Albuquerque, Annapolis last year, they had Ben Jackson, and they had like a few of the younger guys that are coaches. So I was like the only one that could be like, hey, weird things happened back in the day.
I think we should do that. I think we should have a show that we dedicate to just the good old days, naming all of the old teams, just stuff that people that are just joining just don't know about. You know, get them up to speed.
Yeah.
So. But Mike, what does your future look like with the SFL? I'm sorry, JW, were you finished, honey?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, you know, Ashley, everyone knows I'm pretty much a straight shooter. I don't try to, you know, sugarcoat much of anything. But I'll say this, and especially considering that my team is still playing, and I have the utmost respect for you know, everyone in London and that entire, you know, organization, and in particular my teammates. That's really the most important thing to me. My ownership knows my future. My head coach knows my future, and then also out of respect for you know, other people in the league. I'll just say it probably will not be in London. I'll say that. But you know, with that being said, the only way that I will not be there is because I would have been blessed with an incredible opportunity to be a part of something that I could get behind wholeheartedly, and you know, make it my own, so to speak. And if and when that time's come, I'll be truly looking forward to it. But you know, I just want to, you know, if that time comes or when that time comes, I want to be able to properly address my locker room and teammates in the way that they deserve, in the way that I respect them.
Yeah.
Indeed, I totally understand that. I definitely don't want to get anybody in trouble, you know. But I think I understand where you're going, and I think this, first of all, this whole off season is going to be crazy with different things, pieces moving, with the expansion teams, with the rookies, the draft. It's going to be nuts. So, whatever decisions are made,
don't forget about the Detroit rebrand. That's going to be interesting as well.
I know. St. Louis
The
is
St.
now
Louis,
Detroit.
the St. Louis
Yes.
Gladiators rebrand.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's.
It's crazy.
I'm going to miss the Gladiators. I'm telling you. You know, I'm going to miss them.
Too. I always stuck up for the Gladiators. Ever since season 12, when I came in and everybody, you know, that they was true. They was suffering. They was going through it. You know, they were like number one every season in the draft, and every season they had somebody, you know, they left, but got it together, you know. And I think maybe a change of scenery will give them the spark that they need to go deeper in the playoffs, because hey, they've only gotten better, you know, as the seasons went on. So, you know, kudos to that. It's gonna be a lot of good stuff happening. So, but to each his own, whatever decisions that you guys make, I wish you the best of luck. And I'm looking forward to seeing when the dust settles where everybody is. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But, gentlemen, I'm going to open the floor up to you to say anything that you want to at this time, anything that you want to address besides what we talked about before I let you go. So, with the new TV deals that we got with ESTV, Rare Drop, with the convention coming up, we've got a lot of things going on. Do y'all want to spend a couple minutes just, you know, giving your thoughts on a few things going on?
I would just like to say SFL NFT. They're here. No, I'm sure. I mean, it's giving like the baseline, like it's like almost like a feeler, I guess, of other things, because it's like 8 cards. We're not really sure what the cards look like currently. We'll figure that out in a few days. But depending on how, like, ask me next week how I feel about the cards, because I'll have to see before I make any opinion on it. The Detroit move, that was kind of insane to see, because I thought like I said before, like Jack tried to make it, or well, I know Jack and Jack tried to make a Detroit bid, right? And now the Gladiators are going to Detroit, and an unnamed man made a very funny joke to me, and he said, and I quote, "Well, at least it'll make sense now that they're in Detroit." And at least he said, "Makes sense," as in now when you see Detroit at the bottom of the standing. But that's a say it with your chest for another day.
No.
Ashley's like, I want my show to be
No,
lighthearted.
no. Oh no, it's good. It's good. It's just, it's friendly banter, but it's crazy because I figured somebody was gonna have something smart to say about it, but it wouldn't be the league without a few of them. Just like that whole exclamation Doyle thing, where a trash can that's lit on fire is floating down the street. Who did that to you, Doyle? Who did that?
I don't. Okay, it is an SFL chat. It's somewhere in there. We just can't look it up anymore. Like, if you look up old quotes of me, there's like all these random things. And I remember when I was in front office chat was when the oldest were, even after SFL chat got nuked. But I remember it was like, I looked it up one day and it was just like people that were mad that I said something or whatever, because I said a lot of things that were pretty annoying back then. And then I remember there was one that talked about the first part of the Doyle meme or whatever, right? But I think it was just like, so because I remember I had like 3 bad takes in a row, and then somebody was like, he's like a dumpster fire, bad takes, and somebody posted, because like the current GIF isn't even the original GIF. The original GIF was like, all right, wait, they changed it back. Okay, there was a different Doyle command at one point, because I remember the GIF that they had was it was like the SFL bot, like Me6, it went down one day, and like fully down, like they lost all the commands and all that. So I remember they were reprogramming it, like they used the it's the one that you see for all like the Twitter memes, where it's like a dumpster moving down a hurricane thing.
Exactly.
And, oh yeah,
on fire.
Yeah, I found the other one too, but it's like that was the one that was the Doyle gift for a while too. But I think it's just like, I don't know. I'm a pretty polarizing figure. Also, the OKC kind of followed me throughout the time, even after I left OKC. Like
I was curious.
Like because like, if for those that or like have only seen me in Florida, I was on this team named the Oklahoma City Renegades, led by aforementioned Tiberius Bovine, aka Michael Irvine, aka Papa Irvine, aka Cameron Irvine's dad. And I made most of the draft day decisions, and I made a few of the free agent decisions. But like, if you don't know HWJ, who's in sports chat a little bit, I drafted him immediately, and basically never looked back at that point. Then I was in Oklahoma City until season 13, and Jason Williams actually went to Oklahoma City, and then I went to Florida, it was like, somebody said it was the first trade by position, even though it wasn't a technical trade. It was the first time 2 players of opposite teams flipped to the exact position. There had been one more time where it was like a wide receiver became a wide receiver 1 on one team, and like another wide receiver became a different wide, but it wasn't like the same spot or anything. But yeah, that was a cool time. But yeah, that's where the dumpster fire comes from.
Craziness.
So if I had to give you a spot chart, it would either be Rostelli, Andy, or LaRoe, but I don't think anyone remembers LaRoe now. But he was another guy that was a moderator at the time. But yeah.
No, I'm trying to. Maybe that was before my time. That might have been.
It definitely predates you.
Yeah.
It happened in my rookie season because like it happened. The OKC thing comes from literally our entire team. The first 2 games would just spam that because we won. We were 2, and then we ended the worst team in the league. So that's how I can make jokes about people being the worst team in the league. But then you said I made a joke in general. You said that this is gonna be shorter than a 3-hour show, and then I was like, me and MSG, and it's a laughing face. So if you look at so we were the worst team, and then I drafted that season. I drafted Rich Pratchard, who we all know he passed away, and now 86, and that's him. But I was so happy that we drafted him because he was I thought he was going to be gone the first 2 picks. We were the 3rd pick, and he just happened to be there, and I was like, yes. But then that was kind of that was the moment I really wanted to be a GM. So then after that, yes, we're in the Doyle lore era. But it was basically put out a feeler to everyone, every team who wants a GM, because this also continues the dumpster fire, and I'm getting there. I apologize. But so Florida and QCC were the final 2 teams, right? And then QCC all of a sudden is oh, sorry. They thought I was going a different direction, so they got J.R.Lawless, who was a very short-term deal for them, even though he got the same deal I would have got. And then I got Florida, and the rest is history. So the more you know.
The more you know.
The dumpster fire thing, I feel like it Florida because the second play I had, I fumbled against New Orleans. So that's where it continued, and that's where it's gonna stay forever now.
Yeah, I mean, you have those moments in your career that you may say something, or you may do something that will be, encapsulated forever. Like Mike St.Green and them glasses, those sunglasses that he came on my show, all shiny and bright, blasting his music. I will never forget that.
And one thing with Mike is
oh, go ahead, Dion.
One thing with Mike was the Houston stuff. I remember the red Houston cap that popped up pink on and then he had the Rocket. Was it a Rocket jersey or just random Astro apparel and UH apparel?
Yeah, that was University of Houston. That was Andre Ware.
Oh, it's Andre Ware. Okay, and now it's Also, bro, as a tech guy, you have your router face for if someone saw a clear enough image, they could just be oh, his password's right there, over your right shoulder.
Yeah, block that. I'll scoot over.
Thanks, Doyle.
Oh man. Now he's gonna have the entire internet look. My password. They're gonna try to zoom in on my password now.
See, I'm gonna put something there.
I'll scoot forward anyway. But you know what, Ashley, man, it's been wow. So you got me sitting here reflecting. It's been a great ride. And I'm going to say a term that, Doyle's been saying a whole bunch of old stuff that, these guys are going to have to look up, man, what is Doyle talking about? This term I'm going to use is, non-contract. I mean, a lot of people right now have no idea what a non-contract player is, but, coming into this league, season 14, week 2 or 3, I believe it was, Arizona non-contract, able to share a locker room with you and Eddie and Bryant Dynasty, and it was great from the very, very start, and I find myself reflecting now from being able to play in the first ever minor league game, being able to throw the first touchdown in minor league history. Yeah, young SFLers. I was a quarterback at one time, and someone with a lot of wisdom said this guy's probably going to be a better wide receiver, which was Frank Gooden in Jacksonville. They saw a lot in me, and drafted me and brought me over there, man. It was a great time being able to be in the locker room with Christensen and Ken Gossett and Jack Wall, who's still here, and just Hunter Norwood, just a lot of great guys over there, man, that have been a fixture in this league for a long time. And then just to go on the journey with Cam, being able to be on with him. I was just spoke with him, right before we got on, and being on him with him for 3 seasons. Just completed 3 seasons with him. It's just been a great ride. When I came into the league, it was only 18 teams, and now here we are talking about this off season, growing to 28 and different affiliations with different, networks and broadcasters and Twitter pages. Twitch pages and things like that. I'm just reflecting on a great journey over the past couple of years for me, and great opportunities that are ahead of me, and I'm being, like I said, blessed with. That's just because that's just the way I feel about it. And I'm just looking forward to the future of this league, and I like where it was when I got here. I'm even on it more, seeing where it's going every day, and I couldn't be happier. Cam, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I've told you before, man, just keep grinding and making things happen for us. And you know me, man, and I'm behind you 100%. So keep doing what you're doing. And to the rest of the league, man, y'all, you guys keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I feel like we're in a good place. We're going in the right direction. Let's keep growing and making it bigger and making it greater. We don't know what's going to be on the other side once we get there, but let's keep grinding and making it a great thing.
Indeed.
And also MSG.
Yes, sir.
If you, even in season 1 of SFLm, people don't get any of those names anymore. It's like I say PJ Slaughter and people are like, oh. Who's that guy? Yeah. And it's like he was the tandem QB with Mike St.Green. I'm like, yeah. They're like, tandem QB? I'm like, yeah, we had this idea.
and being that you brought up that name, PJ was great being in the locker room with, man. It was a lot of pressure on both of us during that time. PJ was obviously outplaying me that season, and it seemed like every game he quarterbacked, we won. We won the first one that I quarterbacked in, but it seemed like I, had a bad performance, or the team had a bad performance. But it was cool being able to message and talk with him, and support from one another. I really thought the league missed the boat by not giving that guy a shot. I don't think he's around anymore, but I really wish he would have gotten a shot.
And I think he was like a martyr for the new rule of being able to stay. Right. It's like Doug Brown also got caught in that little 2-year loop, which in my opinion, it should have never been a 2-year loop, especially for quarterbacks and halfbacks. Right. It's we had way too many SFLm teams to field the same amount of people in the SFL. Now we see that less and less now, because people there's enough diversity of league, of being in the league however much time. We have guys like Ron Cochran who have been here for seasons, but we also have plenty of rookies, first year guys, second year guys, and it's pretty diverse from that. There's probably the same amount of guys that have been here for one year as there have been 5 or 6.
Yeah. So. And I'll say this about PJ also. I don't know if he'll get a chance to hear this. Hopefully he will. And one thing I think he suffered from was PJ was a quiet guy. And that was kind of used against him. Oh, he doesn't talk enough. He doesn't do this enough. But man, if a guy's dedicated enough to stick around for 2 seasons and complete all his check-ins and things like that, some guys' personalities are just that way. Don't hold that against him. If this guy's showing enough dedication to stick around and try to get what he wants, and basically the only reason why he's not here and probably balling out right now for somebody is because, like Doyle said, the rule was in place that he had to give up his position as a quarterback after 2 seasons in the minors, and I was very disappointed to to see that come along, because I just feel like he was a deserving guy that that probably deserved a shot in the league, and probably, like I said, probably balling out like right now, because I believe they won a championship that second season when he came back down there. I mean, he was great, but the only reason why he didn't get drafted, it was nowhere for him to go.
Man, and the thing is, just a couple more seasons, man. Got four potential places plus some. People retiring left and right. Opportunity for the present yourself. But I do get it.
And I'm still wearing season 15, y'all. I'm still wearing number 15 because y'all didn't draft me as a quarterback. Don't forget that. That's my one MSG moment of the night. I mean, I won't let them forget it.
I mean, listen. Actually, you probably would have been good together. So you would have been one of my receivers. When I started the league, I was actually a wide receiver. Caught my first touchdown. I actually had hands. Built her very well. So it could have been some plays where, hey, I need you to go back there and throw the ball to me, Mike. Just trick plays, man. Just get it down. I wish we could, though. That'd be so dope. But
yeah, well, they don't want to run any trick. They don't want to run any trick plays with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Leave me out of that backfield. Let me stay on the receiving end.
I feel you on that. But yeah, memory lane. We definitely gonna have to do that. A walk down SFL memory lane. Talk about all the good times that that just gonna continue. But thank you, gentlemen, for your time being on here, reminiscing with me. I really appreciate it. Giving me your input and your feedback on everything. And before I let you go, of course, I can't let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, a poem, or just a simple shout out. But right now, Doyle, the floor is yours.
Would like to say shout out to all the Florida Storm boys. Yes, I'm gonna be corny with this one, but thank you for the main core being around for 3 or 4 seasons now, and the older boys being around now since season 8 and season 9. So, but yeah, shout out to them.
Awesome. What about you?
I hate this part, right? Every time I come on, I forget about this part, and I hate this part. But I'll keep it simple. I would, yeah. Shout out to the London Knights as well.
No, don't keep it simple. Don't keep it simple.
Don't keep it simple.
You guys know that I love you over there, man, and looking forward to these next few weeks, and hopefully that we're still in this thing and competing for that ring. And for anyone else, I will just say I'm an open book. If you ever want to ask me a question or need anything from me, just DM me, drop me a line, man. I'll engage pretty much anybody that wants to talk to me, ask me a question or anything. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And man, love this league. Can't wait to see where it goes from here. And look forward to seeing you guys on the air this weekend.
All right. You know what you should have did for yours? You should have gave us that smoky drink recipe that you made for us to move this down to Texas, man. That's what you should do. I need that recipe. I missed that right now. You see where I am. You see where I am.
I'll DM it to you. Right. I'll DM it to you.
I will make it immediately. Don't play with me. I'll make it. All right, gentlemen. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. All right, and then we're gonna go and say our goodbyes, and then we're good to go. Okay.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Everyone, that is it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to thank all of my guests for being on the show. And especially thanks to Nathaniel for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be with me tonight. Do you have any special words for these lovely people out here?
I think I've already said it all. For the new people, keep your heads up. For the people that came back to the SFLm, good luck. Good luck to all you all in your future careers in the draft. As far as the pros go, for those of you that didn't make the playoffs, great season. For those of you that did and are still there, good luck, and just for everybody, it's gonna be one heck of an off season. It's gonna be. I've told people it's gonna be kind of cutthroat and messy, and just don't take things personally. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be the craziest off season I think this league has ever seen or will see for a while until the next, expansion comes. But
exactly.
But just remember, we're all still a family. We're all still in this together. Like I said, we all still care about each other. So just wish everybody the best. We're all still here, and keep the friendships you got, and have a great career, long SFL career. And thank you again for having me on here.
Anytime.
Look forward to coming back.
Hey, anytime. Door is always open, especially, you want to come on and go over some of these SFLm games with me, because I know you and Axel got that on lock. So this is good to be able to kind of have these little crossover shows where we can kind of talk about everybody and give everybody that shine that they deserve, especially with the rookies. It's daunting coming into the league, especially you don't know anybody, or you may know some people and you don't know how you're gonna work together with your teammates and everything like that. So kudos to y'all for doing that. But I am looking forward to bringing y'all another great podcast next week. But until then, stay safe, treat each other well. Nathaniel and Striker out.